You got to do it. You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
Good morning. Oh, what a wonderful morning it is.
What a great day.
Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning.
Looking like Steve Sisu himself. We got Colleen. We got Colleen on the move.
Hi.
You are not in the mic.
Hello.
If you want, you can do this. Look, check me out. Check me out. Okay, you could do that. You just there. You go.
Because it's like pointed that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Hello.
good morning.
Hi.
Get up.
Hi.
Everyone, get up. Get up.
Get up.
We are live on Twitch.
Get up.
Twitch.tv/The Do Over Podcast. We are live right now doing the next official episode of the Do Over Podcast where Jess came in and she took over hosting duties. Round of applause for Jess. Now, she did such a good job, I fired her. She's gone. She's never coming back. You know why?
All of a sudden, you lose all your subscribers.
Yeah, right. Because she's clearly
You're selling me a little short, okay? Maybe
all
some.
except for 200.
There we go.
Okay, you can have 200. She gets the other 1,000.
Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. We just got another message from Dylan's teacher. Let's see if it's a good one or a bad one.
Ooh.
Wait. Here we go. Way better so far today. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. I was a little bit worried about that. See, good morning. Before we get into all the happenings, all the things that are going on, I want to welcome you to our live feed as well. The next episode of the Do Over Podcast, we have a proper episode that drops every single Wednesday at 8 a.m.
Yes.
And then we do taps and takes for all the nerd news, all the sports news.
Correct.
The latest one just dropped right now. And Elliot, as I was saying, I think it's probably the best looking thing that we've done so far. I think it's probably the most professional that any of these that we've done.
To the thumbnail.
He's not happy with this thumbnail. He says he looks like he's fat.
Oh, no.
Because Drew, I want you to look at his lighting. He looks hot, right? Drew looks really good, right? Yeah, Drew looks really good, right?
Looks good. Looks good.
Tell me that's fair.
Hold it up to the camera.
Okay.
Tell me that's fair.
Well,
You look at that. You look at that.
You gotta squeeze in.
No,
on you.
I want people to see it and then look at Drew. Look at Drew. Look at
I'm like this.
Drew looks tan. He looks handsome.
He looks a little
right?
edited. Yeah, he does look a little edited.
And then look at
that. Buddy, why didn't you get the jaw surgery if you were so like sensitive about it?
And then on top of all of it, you do another one and you shrink me in behind the number.
Wait, I didn't do anything. These are made by Eddie. Hold on. Okay, let's talk. Before we get into everything, I want to thank everyone who's joining us. Thank you to all of our members that are live on Twitch right now. All of our Patreon members, shirts are going out. I message a ton of people, so that's really exciting. Also, we're going to have more opportunities for everyone to get hooked up, so that's just a promise. So big shout out to you. Also, I want to shout out us for hitting a milestone. Well, actually, you guys, because you keep on
keeping on.
You keep on keeping on. We hit a 50,000 stream milestone on Spotify. Round of applause, us.
That's right.
Hey, hell yeah. I like that one. Starting this podcast like 2.5-3 months ago. It's very scary, but the fact that we have garnered so many returning customers to our product, that makes us really, really happy, and we will keep on going as long as we keep on showing up. So shout out to you. And I didn't fire Jess, even though she did really good. She's at a wedding right now.
She did well.
She's
very
working,
well.
She's a working gal. Now, Elliot.
Yes.
There is a few things that I want to talk about that I found out about the last episode, right?
Okay.
I had no idea.
Taps and takes or do-over?
No, the do-over.
Okay.
When Jess was hosting. I had zero idea that you had an opportunity to do corrective jaw surgery and you didn't go for it. Why? You bitch about your jaw constantly.
Well, no.
Why didn't you just do it?
Because hindsight's are always 20/20, all right? But when you're already a socially awkward high school kid who had braces for the first 3 years of high school, and then you finally get a decent smile, and your neck's so long that you don't even really notice the gobble yet, you want to actually have a fun senior year instead of, oh, you know what? How about for your senior year, the back half, we're going to sew your jaw shut, and then you're going to have braces for 3 more years in college. How's that sound, Buckaroo?
But it would have corrected your jaw, so
but
you
there
don't
wasn't
bitch
anything
about
wrong with it at the time, I think is what you're saying. Can you do it now?
What happened to your neck? Did it shrink?
I think I grew I grew
age.
traps, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, you grew muscles up here?
I grew muscles in my neck, went from a giraffe neck to like a turtle.
Can you do it now?
No.
You can't get the surgery now?
Expensive orthodontist or what,
I have 3
orthopedic
children that are in braces. Yes, I do.
It's not orthopedic. It's
Orthodontia.
orthodontia. It's orthodontic.
Orthodontia.
Isn't it orthodontic?
Orthopedics, I believe, are children,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So like what is it? Because I'm starting.
It's
orthopedics
orthodontic.
are like, it's orthodontic.
Orthodontics.
Yes.
Orthodontia no surgery.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway,
you can go get it checked for free.
I can't afford that.
You could go get it checked for free.
That and the
orthodontic surgery, also known as orthoganthic surgery.
Orthoganthic surgery, yeah.
Involves surgical correction of the jaws to improve bite and facial alignment. Man, your face could have gotten corrected, but you did not correct that face.
No. And also, I didn't like the way my orthodontist was like approaching me with it. He was very like already setting it up without my permission kind of thing. And I just, it felt like he was just trying to squeeze every drop from us, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
He's like, he walks in, ooh, your face is fucked up.
It was this.
Let me fix it.
No, you're
so gross.
No, you want to know how it was? So I get my braces off. They're like, congratulations, man. Congrats. Like a few months later, you do the checkup or the retainer thing. It's like, yeah, your teeth look great. All we have to do is fix your jaw. It's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you've got a horrible overbite and you're really going to notice it soon. So what we can do is we'll already get the paperwork started is we're going to put you, we're going to do surgery and we're going to break your jaw. And he even did like the hand break.
Oh my God.
He goes like, we're going to break your jaw like
no,
this.
he kind of like this. Like, we're going to break your jaw and then we're going to dislocate. And he did the thing like with his hand.
Right.
We're going to dislocate your jaw and push it forward, and then we're going to wire your mouth shut so you can't speak for 6 months.
But if you imagine doing that, you would be not bitching about any picture of you ever.
No, the problem is I just need to lose more weight. That's the thing.
Elliot.
At the end of the day, I just got to lose more weight.
Weight isn't going to make your jaw stick out further.
Right.
She's right. It'll slim up some of this.
No, because this never retracts. So once you gain fat or just age and like the skin starts to come down, like
the
it doesn't.
The guado starts to go down. Starts to go.
So you can do like stuff as preventative to like not make it worse, but you can actually have a consultation with an orthopedontic surgeon.
Orthodontic.
And
now we've all messed up.
And they will give you a quote at very least for free. For free. I'll give you my ortho information.
Would you do it now? Like your mouth would be
things are different
shut.
Now. No, not necessarily, because my children had a bad overbite and they put a plate inside that connected to their teeth. One of them has already had it removed, the other one hasn't, and it changed their jaw. They used to put a screw in the top of your mouth and twist it every time you came in. That's how my mother-in-law got her
Sounds like a torture device.
Yes. Yeah. It was a screw that was placed into the bone at the roof of your mouth. And when you came in, they took like a little screwdriver and they twisted it and it broadened.
That sounds
so it might be totally different. You might not have to break your jaw anymore. It might be like an application that you can put in your mouth.
Maybe I just need to start doing what the kids do, mewing. And you just like hold your jaw forward so you get that sick chin.
Oh, yeah. Whenever.
You like push your tongue upward and it like pushes your jaw. So it's like.
Cookie Queen points something out that is correct on our Twitch chat. You could lose so much weight if your jaw was wired shut. Yeah, that's true.
Could have some meat smoothies.
Yeah, I mean, like you wouldn't even need to work out. You could just lose a lot of weight.
I do think I'm going to do carnivore in April.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about it. I'm really.
I was thinking I'll do it with you. We could call it carnivore.
Carnivore? Like the fourth month.
Fourth month.
I got
just for April.
Just for April.
I would do it with you too.
I just want to do it. I would because I hear a lot of people love doing it.
Yeah.
And I essentially hate vegetables anyway, so I mean, I might as well just go full carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm down to try it if you're
that, and it's everything you like.
I eat close to that already.
It's meat.
Yeah, I'm very
it's
high
eggs.
Protein.
It's cheese.
It's everything. It's
awesome.
everything you need in life.
That's everything you could want and more.
It's all done.
It does get kind of difficult though.
Well, I'm sure it gets annoying.
There's points and times when you're just like, oh my God, I need just cookies in my mouth immediately.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
You know, it can get a little bit rough.
Well, and that's a problem for me because I have such a bad sweet tooth. But I was thinking, chocolate milk, chalky milk.
I don't think you can have chocolate milk on carnivore. It's just water. It's just water.
But milk is an animal product.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be just water.
Cocoa powder is not. It's like a plant.
Are you sure it's not from like the cocoa cow? I've seen
brown cow.
brown cow. I remember the old Hershey commercial where they would shake a cow up and it was brown, and then that was how we got chocolate milk. And that's science.
That is science. Now, if you're unaware of who we are 3 white people with a podcast. Apparently, they're all stacking up, Elliot. You know what I mean? So many white people with podcasts.
What?
They're so white.
What?
So we're 3 white people from Fresno, California, and we're here to spread the good word of Fresno. See, Fresno has a stank on it. You know what I mean? But I think it's because a lot of people pass through the 99 going to Fresno.
True.
It's kind of, I wouldn't say that's like the best part of Fresno. You know what I mean? Like, go through the 41. Near the north, you'll see some good sections of Fresno, right?
I mean, you have to get through us to go to Yosemite. So
now you got to understand when you're going through the 99, it's a bunch of like ag everywhere, like big open fields. Like it does nothing to kind of show like the good areas of Fresno, the good neighborhoods. And really the best part about Fresno are the people that are here. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's kind of what has kept me here for so long, or like the people and the bonds that you make. Now, Colleen, you did not start off as a Fresnian.
A Fresninian.
You're not a Fresninian.
No.
Where did you start off?
You calling us ninnies?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's not a bro. She's not a no.
She's not in the no.
I'm not a Fresninian. Actually, wait, hold
on. That's none of your business.
Yeah. I was 21 when I moved here. No. I still have spent more time outside of Fresno than inside of Fresno. I came from Visalia. Not far.
It's not far.
No, but it's like more cows.
Yeah,
and more farms.
More cows.
Yeah.
Even more fields.
Yeah.
But we are
and
a pretty big area.
We had one freeway. And it didn't even go through the center of town. It went through like the outskirts of town. There was nowhere in town. Now Visalia has gotten a lot bigger since I moved to Fresno. But when I was young, throughout all of my high school, junior high, elementary school, walking to and from school was like the primary mode of transportation for most of the kids, because you're not very far from like anything. Like we walked
you would think
everywhere.
Like you're not really far, but you are far because it was all like giant stretches of field and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yes and no, because there's all fields like all around us. But the town when I grew up was like basically Mooney Boulevard and some side streets like Visalia Road, like that stuff didn't really exist. It was Main Street and Mooney Boulevard. And everything was like really walking or biking distance.
Okay, so like the actual town of Visalia.
Yeah. Like if I wanted to get to my cousin's house, I could walk or I could bike there. If I wanted to get to the mall, we could ride our bikes there. Like everything is close enough to where you really didn't need a bus.
Right.
Even if you were going like across town, it was like pretty close.
What about on the other side of the tracks?
We don't have trains. And I didn't see a helicopter police
Visalia not having
we didn't have trains.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a helicopter police until I came here. And my daughter was 2 when I came, and she was like, oh, what is that? And I was like, oh, those are dragons. Forever.
They are dragons.
Forever. Yes. She came home one day from school crying because she was like, Mom, why didn't you tell me that they're not really dragons?
Why did you? Yeah, they made fun of her. Oh my God, that's so mean.
Setting up your daughter for failure.
Yeah, Colleen's a mean mom. Mean mom, Colleen.
Yeah, mean mom, for sure.
Mean mom.
Hell yeah, I'm not your friend.
Can you explain something to me?
No.
Well, you're gonna anyways because you're a Visalian. You're not a Fresnian. Yeah. All right.
I'm no Fresninian.
We are Fresnians.
Fresninian.
Fresnonian.
You're no Fresnonian.
I'm no Fresnonian.
You are
an imposter.
A Visalian.
Yeah.
You're a Visalian.
Yeah, I'm a Visalian.
What the fuck is up with the water in Visalia to where there's an inordinate amount of hot chicks in a very small clustered area? Like Visalia has banging, beautiful ass women everywhere.
We're talking about back when I was there, which was like 15 years ago. There were less drugs.
Really?
Yeah, there were
So
less
drugs bring
drugs.
hotter women
Yeah.
around.
So with the influx of cocaine,
No, there were less
more
drugs
hot
there.
chicks show up. Okay, so this is the formula.
See, that's
more
how
cocaine.
that's how you
and
lose
then hot
weight.
chicks.
There were
Yeah,
less
you just
drugs.
do a lot of blow.
There were
Yeah.
less drugs in Visalia than when I came to Fresno, the very first fast food restaurant I sat and ate at, I saw a stripper leave or a prostitute leave with a guy outside of a Carl's Jr. The very first time I ever sat at a restaurant in Fresno.
Man, that sounds like a good restaurant. Now, where is this restaurant? Where is it, Elliot?
Maybe she.
What's the address
Okay.
of this restaurant?
No. I mean, it was Carl's Jr. She's probably eating the burger, and it's like, don't bother me. I'm horny. You know.
She was standing outside. This guy came up, literally gave her cash right outside the window I'm sitting and eating at. I was with my friend Brian,
Bra
which is
guy.
Jeff's
Shout
cousin.
out, Brian.
Shout out,
Brian
guy.
D. I was with Brian D, and we were sitting there, and she left with this guy to the car and came back, and I looked over at him, and he goes, "Yeah, that just happened." And like we just continued on, and I was like, "We're just gonna keep on keeping on," and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like that's a thing.
Bro ordered a big Carl combo.
What?
Yeah. Remember those super, I wonder if it was around the time when all those super horny Carl's Jr.'s commercials. Remember those?
Oh my gosh.
It'd be just like chicks like,
It wasn't
and it's
even
all
like
dripping on their
face.
boobs.
Yeah, it was like just her mouth.
You
and she
guys
was
aren't
all,
even talking about. You guys aren't even talking about the best Carl's Jr. commercial.
What?
The guy shaking the cow.
the guy. Shaking.
Why
I
is
don't
this
remember
the
that.
second shaking cow story that we're
Because
doing
it comes
today?
full circle.
Oh, okay. Does it?
Exactly.
Listen.
Till the cows come
It
home.
led to the Chucky milk.
Everyone needs to get their hunger satiated at Carl's Jr. That's why he needed some pussy. Okay, so that's just how it is. Oh, and
That's why Carl's Jr. is secretly so expensive
oh yeah,
because they've got a
Yeah.
secret menu.
You got a
secret menu.
prostitution fee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all whores.
secret menu. They got to keep.
Gotta get that with
They
the
gotta keep
bun off,
business
if you know what I
going
mean. Yeah.
outside. Yeah.
Now, what's up with the glasses? Wait, hold on, Elliot.
Drew,
What's up with the glasses?
you're wearing glasses.
I'm wearing
Oh, that's
glasses
fair.
to see.
I'm also wearing glasses to see.
No, you're wearing sunglasses to look cool.
Well, yeah, I need to.
You're at like a 7 out of 10
I
cool right now.
clearly need to. That's why I'm hiding behind this microphone.
Colleen,
Same.
you look cooler than he does.
Rude.
And I was like, oh, like the girl with glasses look is a nice look. Like the big ones. Like I like it when Sarah
These are
has
not
like big ones.
big.
You said they
These
need
are
to be
not-
bigger.
These
They're
are
so
not
small.
big. They are not big. They are not big.
Colleen, you're gonna be
Have you ever
walking
seen
around
pit vipers?
Two fucking screens
Have you ever
on your
seen
face.
pit vipers?
Yes, we have a pair. We did a whole
there you
bit.
go. Okay, so then you know that these are like maybe a third the size of pit vipers. Anyway,
These are like her daughter's glasses. They're so small.
yeah, they're like baby glasses.
Those are for kids.
These
So
are
then-
for little
okay,
She got
children.
those
Show
at
me.
Baby R Us.
Show me how big you
So-
would want.
So I have like a bet going. So every time I see one of my friends, he's always like, "Can your glasses get any bigger?" So I'm always looking for bigger glasses. So these are actually like
That's pretty funny.
probably
Actually.
medium sized for glasses, but like I like them to cover my eyebrows.
Yeah, we don't want brows
And
showing.
I honestly want like a pair. So I showed him, there's a video of Nicki Minaj in Swalla by Jason Derulo, and she wears these sunglasses that are like thick, that go all the way across her face. You know when you have eye surgery and they dilate
Yeah,
your eyes?
totally.
And
Yeah, I've totally had eye surgery
okay,
before.
well,
yeah.
you've had your eyes dilated.
Yeah.
Okay, and they
Yeah.
give you those glasses,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? That are
Those, like,
plastic. that
shitty plastic ones.
Yeah, I want those, but bigger, like across
Oh,
my
God.
whole face.
Okay.
It's like the mask thing, but opposite. Remember when everybody took their masks off in COVID and you're like, you are not as cute as I thought you were.
No, I don't remember that.
Nah, it's like, it was like catfishing.
Yeah, yes. People had masks on and you would meet all these people.
It's
and
like-
then when masks came off, you were like, oh my God.
It's like when a guy
I
grows
imagine
out a
you
beard
so
and you're like,
much
oh, I
better
wonder what
looking.
you look like. And then they shave. You're like, oh, no, keep that beard.
That's
It's
what glasses
catfishing.
do.
This
Yeah.
is what you need to do. You need to get a series of the same glasses, but just progressively bigger, and schedule a lot of meets with your friend from like a 2-week time and gradually just put on bigger and bigger pairs of the same glasses.
Gaslighting.
Right?
Yeah.
Until the end you walk in and they're like this big and you're like, hey, what's up? Just to like tool with his mind, and he's like, what? And be like, what? You know, just don't even acknowledge it, right?
That's so fantastic.
Well, I'm so glad that you guys are so cool with your sunglasses, and me, my just dorky ass needs to see because I'm old glasses.
prescriptions.
We have a phone line, by the way. Let me see if we can get this right for once. 559-403-0193.
Is that correct?
Orky, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, the ending in 3, that's all I know.
Yeah. 559-403-0193. That is our hotline. If you want to call up, we can take some calls a little bit later. Also, leave us a message, and we're going to be playing that at the end of the podcast. So you can call up right now. Again, 559-403-0193. Go ahead and get it in. Now, Elliot, let's get to our hump to hump.
Hump.
Hump now,
it up.
Even though we record this on a Friday, even though we record this on a Friday, Wednesday is the day that it goes live. So we need to go through the last week and retell the tellings of our life. Elliot, I'm going to start with you. Okay, so let me go ahead and just talk about myself then.
Take it away.
No, go ahead. Go.
No, I mean, it's literally, I left the pod last Friday, went to work, to go to work. Hey, guess what Sunday was? You guessed it. A double. Monday. Did I work? That's right, I did work. Okay. Tuesday. Day off. Hey, all right. Ooh. Wednesday. Work. Then did some golfing.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Birdied my first hole, actually.
Hey.
Went to Madeira with Pops. Hit a birdie on the last hole we played. Par 3. Ripped one about 5 feet away from the hole. Putted that sucker right in.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great one. Yeah, that's right. Praise me. I know.
Yeah, you have a life. You have a life.
I mean, if you call a life golfing with your dad, then yeah, I have a life. And then, work.
Hold on. From Twitch chat, this is pretty funny. Just to circle back to where Colleen was talking about how she told her daughter the train was a dragon. This is from Sly Cooper 97. Sick reference. My family told me Jabba the Hutt was played by my uncle when I was a kid. Told kids at school and didn't realize at all it was a CGI character. I was in 4th grade.
Oh,
that's a bad one.
I felt really bad when she came home. She was seriously crying. And it wasn't just that. It was, I had also told her that I was magic. So instead of, okay.
She tells everyone, my mom's a witch.
No,
my mom's a witch. She's magic.
She was so upset. Like it all came down at the same time. But okay, so I used to tell her that I was magic because you know how parents are always like, because I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that
which
sucks.
is a valid, being a parent now, that is a valid answer.
I never do that.
Because I
never
fucking said so.
No,
shut the fuck up.
No. I would not tell them why I wanted them to do the thing that I wanted them to do. And then I would see them doing something bad or whatever. And I would be like, I would wait. I'm patient in the way that I manipulate my children. Okay.
Okay.
Real.
Okay.
Real shit.
Okay. All right.
So I would wait, and then I would call them over and I would say, you did blah, 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 didn't you? Like, or I'm going to ask you something. I want you to be honest with me.
Right.
And then I would remember like, oh, they were wearing this purple shirt when they did it. Or I would say things that made them know that I know. Right. And they would be like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I'm magic. So you can't lie to me.
Okay.
You can't sneak around. You can't do these things. And you got hurt doing this. And I told you not to do it. Because I know things because I'm magic. Not because I told you so, because I'm magic.
Because I'm Goku.
Yeah.
I'm Goku.
Because I'm Goku.
I have instant transmission.
Because I know things. You know how I know? I'm Goku.
Yeah. They wouldn't understand that.
No, speaking of kids.
All right, that's too long.
All right,
now.
that's too long.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
That's Goku.
Colleen, how dare you say this podcast is not kid friendly?
It is not kid friendly. My 13-year-old daughter's
my God.
Look,
Okay,
we brought up cat femboys once, and all of a sudden it's not friendly.
Wait. How are you going to say that the podcast is totally kid friendly?
No, if you let your kids listen to it, by all means. Like I'm not a parent to other kids' kids, whatever. You know, I'm a parent to my kids. Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely not. My kids do not need to hear about Elliot's glucking for a sucking, the gloop gloops. Like it's not necessary. No.
Hey,
no.
we haven't talked about the gloop gloops.
No.
Yeah, it's been
bloody veg stuff for a while.
No.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been really refreshing.
Hey, you know what? It's still kid friendly.
The only bloody I want to hear is a Bloody Mary.
No, I do.
Where's my Bloody Mary?
Hey,
put Bloody Mary cam on.
You know what I like being, Elliot? For the cool parents. Obviously, Colleen, not a cool
No,
one.
not a
Colleen's
cool
over here lying to her kids.
Not a cool parent.
calling things dragons that aren't dragons.
Are parents cool?
No.
That should be dumb debate day.
No, I'm not a cool mom.
I think the whole point of parents is to not be cool, so you seem insufferable to your kids.
The only coolest of parents let their children watch the Do Over
I'm
podcast.
not a cool mom.
Remember that? No,
not
evidently,
a cool mom. Absolutely not. I'm not your friend.
And you're also carrying your phone like a purse.
I do carry my phone like a purse.
Okay,
What?
show me.
We're
Show me.
Wait a minute. I was looking at this and my brain wasn't catching it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I love about
That's
Colleen?
ridiculous.
So, you know why? Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, you need one.
I'm giving you a compliment
I know.
sandwich.
You need one. You need one.
Go
you need one.
ahead.
You know why?
What?
You know why? Because I carry my purse. Okay, this is my bag. I'm carrying my bag. I'm
Ooh.
like, do. Oh yeah, we'll
Was
talk
that
about
Louis?
Yes, we'll talk about
Little
it.
Louis?
We'll talk
You
about
got
it.
a Louis?
Yes, we'll talk about it.
Wait,
okay?
when did this happen?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Are
She
you
said
ready?
we're gonna
Are you ready to talk about it now?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm carrying my purse around, and someone calls me, and I need to dig through my purse. And I go, okay, no. Now I just go, hello.
Oh, you answer your phone? Oh, because my wife
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, look, I'm so cool. I'm still carrying my purse, and I'm walking in. I'm like, hello.
Do you do it like this?
Let me give you an example. This is my impression of my wife, either reading my text or seeing me call. Okay.
Oh, it's him again.
That's what it is.
I just assume because that's how I would think if I were your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, it's him again.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, okay, be honest. Do you do that with some of her calls too?
No, never.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good
But
husband.
see, here's
do
the
that-
thing.
I have a
Do you
good
do that?
husband.
Do you do that with
Jimmy?
with your bae? Do you look at
No.
that and be like,
Oh my God, never.
Man.
Okay. I would be the worst wife in the world if I did that because that man almost died.
Wait. What about before the death problems?
what about before the denim
he had
injection?
health issues before that.
Okay.
He had health issues
So
before
it's
that.
only because he has health issues, so you always answer the phone?
But I would be a horrific human being if I didn't answer it because he almost died.
Okay, so the almost die thing is the only thing that
That would
qualifies you to
make
have to
me
answer the phone?
No, it would just make me horrific if I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I do it because I answer because I love him. And most
Elliot.
of the time he's wanting to buy me something.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Is that the key to a happy marriage? You just buy you guys stuff?
He buys me like Red Bulls in the morning and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I bought the Louis.
Maybe I need to go get in a car accident so Sarah answers my phone calls. You know, have a near death experience.
Don't do it.
Just brush,
Don't
go
do it.
run my shit
Don't
into
do
a
it.
wall real quick and be like, oh, I almost died, Sarah. She's like, I'll answer every one of your phone calls from now on.
Maybe,
I'm like,
maybe.
Colleen told me.
Well, that being said, I feel like Sarah is such like she's like a tough as nails kind of chick.
She is. Yeah.
So like if you got in a car accident and you had like the silly body brace thing,
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, you can do the dishes still.
She'd
She
be
would
like-
oh, hi, Drew.
She'd be-
How are you, honey?
no, she'd be like, oh my God,
Honey."
babe, you didn't do the dishes before you left.
No, Sarah. It's like, Sarah is one of those people
He's
that
like, what are you
like,
talking about? I never do them.
if I do them sometimes. if I like broke my leg, she'd be like, oh, does your leg hurt? All right, time to go. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
look at your little witty bitty way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at your
That-
little
did she
leg.
tell
It's
it-
all broken.
It's like
skill issue.
so. This last week,
User error.
here I'll start with my hump to hump. Okay, so this last week, I wasn't here the last week for our podcast because I had a lot of houses closing back to back to back, right? And it just kind of happened that way. Like
Crazy schedule.
it was
Real
so,
to life.
The last 10 days of my life have been so intensely chaotic and nuts. And then, of course, in the middle of it, I agreed. I don't even know why, because children don't listen to the radio unless they're with their parents. I agreed to go and speak to a middle school. All right.
Oh, I want to know how this went.
Oh my God. I totally, I'll tell you.
So hang on. Did they sell you as like a radio host?
Yeah, that was like the thing. But
But you're not.
So yeah,
no. It was broadcasting.
Okay,
It was broadcasting, but then it was kind of also the real estate thing. It was like,
okay, that's what I was going to ask.
So,
What it was for.
So I get in there, and it was happening around the time that this was kind of in the middle, kind of finishing. So I couldn't be here time wise. So I go down there, right? And when I walk into the class, I'm seeing all these other professionals. There's another real estate professional here that is from the same office as me. There's like cops, you know what I mean? There's like people from the military. There's like a lot of like legit people. There's like doctors, right? And then there's me. And I'm just sitting there like, hey, yo, is that chicken satay good? All right. And I'm like, you know, so they take us to the class. And it's 2 different classes that I'm supposed to speak to in like a 25-minute span, right? So when the kids come in, shout out Corey, by the way. Corey gave me a little...
The Corster.
They were like, oh, I listened with my parents from back in the day. I'm sorry about the show, but I brought you this button. I was like, all right, cool. Shout out Corey.
Yeah, that's right.
What did the button say?
It was just the little like rainbow cat.
Aww.
It was cute. So, but as I'm talking to these kids, I opened up with this. Raise of hands of who listens to the radio. And there's maybe like 3.
Why would you open with that?
Because I was making a point.
Oh, okay,
because
good.
these
Get a real
kids,
job.
Yeah.
Because these kids could care less about what the fuck I was there for.
They don't even know what a radio is anymore. What is FM? There was an AM?
Yeah.
Is that like when my alarm goes off?
So then I say, okay, who listens to podcasts? More people raise their hand. I'm like, I start doing my spiel and I could see just it. I don't know if it's because of like the school, like where it was, the demographics or whatever, but a lot of them were like, you know, so I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm like, all right, listen up. You guys don't care about this, right? I'm like, you don't.
What he's not telling you is that he flipped a chair backwards and sat down like this.
I was like,
all right, listen up.
I was like, all right, you guys don't care about this, right? Okay, so then let me try to impart on you just some practical advice about life. Communication is the most important thing you'll ever do, right? When I was young, I was awkward. I didn't feel comfortable in social situations. I was lying. Of course, this is just my natural personality. But
you were never awkward.
I was never awkward.
You've always been amazing and glorious and glittering.
No, I've always been like...
Our glorious king.
Yeah.
I wasn't like Elliot where like he had an awkward phase. Like we all have awkward phases, but I was always...
Awkward phase has been 20 years.
No.
When did it end for you?
Okay, you know how he says like during high school he lacked confidence and all this stuff. Like
you never did.
I was always just like, no, not these shit. I just carried myself well. If I was fucking 250 pounds, 5'5", I still was like, yeah, you know what I mean? That was just me, right?
Had a little Farley in him.
Yeah.
It was
bingo.
Wow.
I was just always there, but I was awkward. I had to learn how to communicate with people. One-on-one communication is the key to everything in your life. Friends, family, jobs, anything that you do will boil down to how well you can communicate with people. And I just basically gave 2 lectures on how to bring a cadence to the way you talk, to lock eyes with someone, because like I was almost doing it like I was speaking to my son, because my son's like, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like, hey, you guys need to learn how to fucking talk. Your generation sucks at it. All you guys do is fucking like down to their fucking music.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
What was that?
That was crazy. That was you.
Yeah, it's a lot of that shit. And like that's their rap right now.
Hang on. Give me a beat real quick.
Yeah, like that's what it is. So it was basically just me like being real with them. Like, hey, I know you guys don't care about this, but let me impart some wisdom on you. You have a long time to figure it out, but through like communication, which is something that none of us have even mastered it, but this is probably the most practical advice I can give you. Learn how to fucking talk. Learn how to speak to people, how to convey ideas so you're understood, right?
You want to know how I think it went at the middle school? I think Drew was like, who listens to radio? And all the kids were like, whatever, man. And then Drew's like, all right, who listens to Joe Rogan podcasts? And I bet a bunch of hands went up. He's like, well, I got a podcast. And he started giving out our business cards. He's like, give these to your parents. Subscribe, nerds.
Subscribe.
No,
on YouTube, yo. It was crazy stuff.
In the second class, there was one kid that was like clearly like the little shithead, like in the back of the class. And he was kind of like, so I'm like in the middle of it, I walk up and I'm like,
and he just punks him.
No,
You do scared straight.
no.
What's your name?
No, kind of. I walked up to him like I'm trying. How do I put this? I was trying to take control of the class through the way I was talking and locking eyes with people, not giving them an opportunity so they can look back and be like, oh shit, that guy controlled this whole class with the way that he spoke.
He was our alpha.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that kid was like all talking shit in the back, and I walk up to him and I said something, and I'm like, and you earn your pauses. And I like smacked my hands, and he's like, and like looked at me, but the whole time he was just being like a little like shithead in the back. And through like, and this is practical advice for anyone, through like just the way you convey your feelings and thoughts, you can get so much more back than not, right? And I feel bad for kids that grew up in like households where they weren't like trained to communicate well. Quiet family, you know, some people are just quiet, and that's fine. But a lot of those kids don't grow up learning by emulating their parents in the way that they talk to each other, kind of. And I feel like they struggle because of it, right? So that was like kind of how that went. And I told the person that invited me out there to do it, I was like, none of these kids gave a shit what I was. She's like, dude, that's everyone. No one cares. Like, none of these kids give a shit about it. So I'm like, all right, well, that was good. So yeah, that's why I wasn't here last week. But all those houses closing back to back were kind of nuts. And I had a situation on Friday on that day when you guys were doing the podcast. I had a situation in which one house closed. Without getting too in the weeds, it's contingent. So one house closed, but it needed to fund the purchasing of the next house.
Right.
But because of the nature of the sale, one closed, the ones that my clients were in, and the other one didn't. Okay. So when that happens, typically you do something that's called an early occupancy agreement. That means
they kind of rent the space, right?
Yeah, for like a couple days. Yeah. But you also release liability from the seller. So if like anything happens, if they hurt themselves, if their stuff gets stolen, whatever, that none of that liability holds on the seller. A lot of people are really cool about doing this. They're like, fine, yeah, cool,
right,
come on in.
You don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, I could not convince this seller to let them get access to the property. So now I'm in a position to where like they had movers in front of their house. Okay. They can't even get access to the garage because I was like, can I just have access to the garage? Can we just put the stuff in the garage, please? No. So I was like, all right. So I'm like just rushing, trying to call everyone I can, calling the other agent, asking for access, you know, to the house, like a seller in possession of the property until like Monday. It was a mess. So we basically had on last Monday, 4 hours to move this whole house. And they had 2 trucks. So I'm like, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to rent a truck and I'll be there at 9. And that's sure as hell what I did. I went and got a U-Haul. I was there at 9 and we moved their whole house in a matter of like hours. Now, the next day, I was like, my legs were fucked, like completely screwed. I was just like they're still sore.
Oh, yeah.
Like just walking up and down that goddamn truck too.
I get you, man.
That was so messed up.
Okay, wait, hold on, pause. I have to say something.
Yeah.
So you rented a truck, went to their house, loaded up all their crap, moved it to the new house, helped them unload all their crap.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just shout out a good real estate agent? Like that is 100% like above and so FYI, if you are a Fresnonian and you are selling your house, we might know someone because that's like crazy.
Why?
That's so above and beyond.
Well, because like the thing is I wasn't going to leave them high and dry.
Okay, we don't need to continue to talk about how
No, I'm saying I wasn't going to leave them high and dry because like if they weren't going to make it, it was going to be like a logistical nightmare.
No,
right?
Good for you. Honestly,
you know?
real shit. Good for you.
And who the fuck else was going to help them on a Monday? They had like 8 people there on Friday.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was kind of pissed at the other agent because I was like, okay,
No, that's
we're
like
done.
really jacked up. Yeah.
I'm like, we're done.
That's a jacked up situation. And
we're waiting for a stamp from the county to go like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, buying and selling your house is like already a stressful situation. Like I can't imagine what they were going through, and like the not knowing is like awful.
They were
horrible.
crying.
Yeah,
like when I go up there, like the
100%.
Yeah, I'm the bearer of bad news. I have to roll up and be like, it's not till Monday, and like they just start crying, and I was just like,
Yeah.
But you know what made it happen? Round applause me.
Yeah. Good for you. Honestly.
Thank you.
That's all the kids.
Yeah,
it's all the kids.
It's all the kids that you found a home for.
My week has been chaos, but here's the thing. This is what I want to say. Because of all these deals that I've been doing, like I've just been inordinately busy in the beginning of the year.
Now he's buying us all Louis Vuitton.
Hold on. I am taking at least a couple of days. My last closing was yesterday. I have a couple listings that I'll be working on, but not like 5-6 deals at once. So because of that, your boy's playing Monster Hunter this weekend.
Whoa.
I'm playing some Monster Hunter this weekend.
Yeah.
My God, Sarah, if you're watching right now, I'm playing Monster Hunter this weekend. That's going to happen. I will buy you something pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ask for
Sarah.
Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
Oh, here's funny. So we have a shared note.
Mm-hmm.
We have a shared note. And on the Hump to Hump, I just leave Elliot's name and Colleen's name to like add stuff to, even though Colleen's a dirty Androidian. So here's Elliot's notes on Hump to Hump. I don't have a life, LOL.
That's true. Well, no, we put our name down twice. So like there's our names at Hump to Hump, and then down the list is all the things Drew wanted to talk about. So like, I'll just put my stuff down there. So my stuff's down there.
Oh, is it down here?
Yeah, it's down here.
Oh, okay. All right.
But no, I just don't have a life. I work 7 days a week, at least at random times of the day. And then if I'm lucky, I get to go to the gym. If not, I'm in bed sleeping.
It's so funny. So Eddie from Visalia, shout out Twitch chat. He was like, hey, Sarah should buy you something. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And yeah, Nova, your realtor. See, this is the problem. Nova Titan Link. Oh, my realtor sucked. That's the problem. A lot of realtors do suck, right? And then they give us a bad name, and everyone's like, "Oh, don't fuck with realtors. You got to get a good one. Get a good one.
Gotta get a good one.
Yeah, you gotta get one that cares about you.
The one that will show up to your house at 9 a.m. with the truck to move your shit.
Yeah.
Get out of this house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have a life, but I'm very proud of you that you're working a lot, Elliot. You went from being a sourpuss bitch to being Mr. Busy.
You know what? You were not a sourpuss.
Oh, God. When we started this, he was a sourpuss.
No, he wasn't.
How many people gave you notes about the first episode of our podcast?
It was.
I don't even remember. Dude,
Quite a few.
I don't even remember January for the most part.
Yeah,
I was
real.
sick at the first couple of weeks of January, and then it was March.
And then it was.
Okay.
Like
now we're here.
February didn't happen. It was January was just like find a job. Oh, you're sick for 2 weeks. Find a job. Hey, you found a job. Now you're working said job. Hey, second job? Second job. Third job? Why not? All right.
Yeah.
now it's
jobbing it
now
up.
It's 3 days away from April. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're living a busy life. You're living that adult life with
living
your
La Vida Loca, baby.
with your married lifestyle.
I hear that Ricky Martin
Pura
song at
vida.
least 5 times a week.
Hey, when are you going to ask Lady Jams to marry you?
I can't tell you. She listens.
Okay.
She watches.
But it's going to happen though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like soon?
You're ruining the surprise.
I would say like if you're
I'll say this.
Okay.
I would be surprised if we weren't engaged by this time next year.
I will say this. She still has a choice to say no.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
She's going to
Okay,
have to.
I actually have a question about this. Jimmy and I just had this conversation. Is it okay for a girl to ask a guy to marry her?
I mean, it is, but I want to be the one proposing.
Okay, that's a very.
okay.
I love your answer.
Wait.
What's yours?
Ask one more time. So
Okay, the question is it okay for a girl to ask a guy to marry her?
Yes. However,
Okay.
there is a caveat to that.
What is it?
There's a few actually.
No, only get one.
Hold on. Is it public
No, you don't get to. No,
Wait. No. Yeah, no. There's a caveat.
No,
Okay.
you can't because she can or she either can or she can't.
This is the problem.
Because guys don't have that. I'm just asking.
No, hang on though. Drew's right because Lady Jams and I both agreed we're not doing a public.
Okay, if there's an agreement between the two of them, then that's fine.
So I would be mad if she.
Let me explain, right. Colleen. Let me explain.
Okay,
no, it can't. It's not black and white. It's too nuanced because women do not understand like what it feels like to be a man. Man does not understand like what it feels to be a woman, right? These days, women are way more authoritative and independent and a lot of, and I'm not going to be one of those, where's all the masculinity gone? Because I fucking hate those guys. But I will say, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of like the male role, has somewhat been, some of them taken over by the women. Right. So is it okay? Sure. But if you're in public and your lady drops to a knee and asks you to marry him, like
her,
sorry, publicly, you kind of look like a bitch.
I feel okay. Well, hold on. If she's asking,
you do. Elliot, am I wrong?
Okay, well, hold on. Just okay. Can I give my opinion because you haven't heard it yet? What do you think? I want to hear what you think my opinion is.
Did you see that before you go? Did you see that UFC fighter? She proposed to her man after winning a fight.
No, that's okay. That's
and he said yes, but I mean like
good for him.
But like she's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, right. If you say no,
she just won the championship.
I'm curious what you think my thought is. Just yes or no. You think that I'm pro it or against it?
No, I think you're against it.
You think that I'm against a woman? Okay.
Yeah.
What is your thought?
No, I'm sure Colleen's. I haven't quite figured out Colleen yet.
Oh,
I feel like Colleen would not only do it, she would love to do it.
Okay, this is facts, but you are right. I'm totally against it because of what you. Okay, now I'm also a girl with all brothers, so I'm a girly girl. But in all reality, now if a woman and a man are together and it is clear that he's shy or uncomfortable or anything like Jeff, then she's gonna have to probably do that, right? What? Yeah,
that's fucked up.
No, it's not.
What's wrong with
he's
Jeff?
shy. He's shy. He
doesn't
really talk. When I introduced him to my family, I introduced him as a mute. Swear, and he had his jaw wired shut. So
well, good for him.
Yeah.
That's why he has that sick jawline.
He didn't have an orthodontist trying to like beat him up in his office.
No,
that's great.
No, you guys don't know. He got into like a serious dirt bike accident. Half his jaw's metal. A metal.
See,
plate.
that's no way.
Yeah. He's bionic.
That's like a cool story, though.
It is a dope story.
They have weirdly like super cool stories all the time.
We were wild. Okay, so for reals, like, no, I do not think that a woman should propose to a man because I think that it does take away from the man's experience. I am an impatient woman and I would 100% propose to a man. And I once told Jimmy, like, I don't think you'll ever propose to me. And he was like, why? And I was like, I just don't think that you'll ever have like the balls to do it, I guess. I don't think that's what I said, but
that's like some goading ass shit.
No, it was like, that's like real. That's like
real men
shit.
would ask me to marry him.
My husband is a real man for sure.
I'm not insinuating that it's not. I'm saying like that's your manipulation tactic.
No. I just didn't.
Where do you?
Okay.
Here, Colleen, where do you think the worst place to propose to someone is?
I think it is dependent on that person's personality.
Like, if Jimmy had proposed to you at like a hockey game, would you have said yes?
Yes.
On the Jumbotron?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You want to do we know where he proposed to me?
No.
Where?
My brother doesn't, all my family lives in Visalia, right? My brother was coming into town. My brother had no idea he had this plan. Lana and Jimmy, they planned it out together. Our very first date was at the Clovis bookstore. Do you know what I'm talking about? The green building. What's it called?
I took pictures of you guys there.
Book Barn. So that was our first date, and then he took me there and was like, Lana had come to me and said, "Mom, I need a book for school. Could we go to the Book Barn?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like a week went by, and she's like, "Are we gonna go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go. It's okay." And I kept putting it off, and Jimmy was like, "What the?" Like to Lana, right? And then my brother calls and I'm like, Uncle Mitch is coming into town. Like, so we're going to do it later. And so Jimmy calls my brother and is like, I'm trying to propose to your sister and I cannot get her to this damn bookstore. We're going to the bookstore today. So my brother's like, we're going to go to the bookstore. I'm like, okay. So we go and he's like, oh, the book you're looking for, I think it's over here in social sciences because that's where Lana puts the ring.
Oh.
And I was like, no, it's not. And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no,
Colleen's
I
like,
don't.
no, Colleen, stupid.
This is bigger than you.
I was the most difficult person to propose to.
That
because
tracks.
I was just
That
like,
tracks.
Funny enough, I saw someone get proposed to at golf the other day.
Did you?
good for them.
We got done golfing and it was a little bit after sunset. We were like swinging the cart around our car, putting our clubs, and there were these giant letters that said "Marry Me," and they lit up and everything. And this is clearly a family waiting.
Right.
And then like this girl comes out and she's dressed in like this white flowy dress, and they're like, "Oh, here's the birthday girl." So they were like, I was like, okay, I don't know why you would take a birthday girl to a golf course, you know,
Right.
when it's dark and you can't golf. And like the second she turned, the whole like, it was so cute that I was like, dude, I can't believe I just we just saw this after playing 18, you know?
So finish your story.
So he's like, come on, like it's over here. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then they end up moving the book. So he has a book hollowed out in a ring inside the book, and he ends up moving the book to like where I'm standing. And he goes, "Oh, have you ever read this one?" And I'm like looking through books, and I'm all, no. And then I'm like, going back.
Well, I think you should.
He's like,
this is a great book. You won't believe what I'm seeing in it, Colleen.
He's like, turn around for a second and just look at me. And I like look at him, and I'm like what? And he's like saying this like really heartfelt speech, and my daughter is behind him, and there's like a bookshelf, and she's like popping in and out, and I'm like just staring at her like, what are you doing? And I'm looking at him and then looking at her like, look at what your daughter's doing. She's being a weirdo. Like, why is she being a weirdo? And then he opens the book, and I'm just like, I just like mouth dropped, like, oh my God, this is happening.
You didn't put two and two together,
no,
like you wouldn't figure it out.
I literally did not figure it out. I look up, and my brother is also behind like a kiosk recording me, and I'm like, you are all in on this? And then, of course, like the answer is yes, because he's literally the best thing that happened to me, and I had to trap him as soon as I could.
Trap him.
You're not getting away.
Oh, shout out Red Phoenix.
Yeah, we love you, Red Phoenix.
Thank you so much,
Although,
Red Phoenix. That's really, really nice of you.
No, I had somebody here put, alternator at a wedding. The worst place to propose to somebody. And
Because it takes
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
If somebody tries proposing at my wedding with Lady Jams, I'm putting them through a table.
I was there for something like that. But it was planned by the bride and the groom.
Okay. Well, then that's fine.
Then it was like, okay. But I was like, when I found out that my friend was going to propose to his girlfriend at the time, I was like, you can't do that today. And they were like, no, their brothers are very close. Yeah.
Even though that's a romantic story, and so
it's very
in every fucking measure you, it's not as romantic as my engagement story.
Please take it away.
Mm-hmm.
The floor is yours.
So
we're giving you ideas.
Me and Sarah had talked about, getting married for a while, and we wanted to have kids and do all this. So I saved up enough money during my first year of real estate to buy her ring, because I couldn't come with no cheap shit.
Ooh.
So I went and I bought the ring, and then she went to Target. And then when she came back, I had the ring, and I said, "Do you want me to get on my knee?" She said, "Uh-huh." So I'm like, "Would you like to marry me?" And she said, "Uh-huh." And she put it on. That's it. That's the story.
And then she's like, "Okay, get the groceries now."
That was the story. That was the whole story.
That's the
most
whole story.
romantic engagement in history. And you know why that is, Elliot?
Because
Do you know why? Know why? It's because
glitters.
it's just us. What's up with all the pageantry? Kate, that's some fake shit. We're some real motherfuckers over here in this house, Elliot. She went to Target. I asked her, "What would you like me to do?" She said, "This." So I did it.
Wait, you did it at Target?
Boom. No.
Oh.
Fuck no. No.
Oh,
That would be funny though, and if he was like, "Sarah, you've been the target of my eyes ever since I saw you. Now, will you let me bullseye?" That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Me and Sarah have never been like the mushy gushy people. And like, I'm more affectionate than she is, but like, we love each other, right? I'm just a more affectionate person than she is. But even then, we are still not the mushy gushy type. So like, if I was to get on my knee and be like, "The sun and the stars have aligned and I love you forever," it would be disingenuous. Like, me just being like, hey, marry me, stupid. Like that's us. Like that's who we are.
This is us on NBC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there you go. There's some stories for you. We're going to take a little break. We have to use the bathrooms. Re-up on the coffees.
I popped a Red Bull out of my purse.
There you go. We'll be back in about 7 to 10 minutes. Don't leave us. We love you. We will be right back on the Do Over podcast.
This break is brought to you by Frank Sierra Finished Carpentry and Sierra Door Supply, providing and installing all your doors, custom closets, and decorative molding needs. Now, just a little pro tip. We've had the luxury of working with Frank Sierra, and I got to tell you, their work perfect every time and incredibly fast and consistent. So whether you're in Tulare, Kern, Kings, and Fresno counties, the Sierras will come to you and offer excellent customer service and experience. Give a call to Anthony Sierra, your friendly neighborhood finish carpenters, for a free quote today at 559-623-3054. Thanks again for supporting the Do Over podcast.
And we're back.
Oh, Trigun was
And we're back. I like the new Trigun. It's actually
Stampede.
Yeah.
They're
very good.
Another season's coming up soon.
Dude, yeah. That is the closest to CG anime style that is it's close, dude. It's like they almost cracked the code on it, kind of.
The final season of Attack on Titan did it pretty well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Attack on Titan was great.
Now, I want to say a big shout out to our sponsors. Thank you so very much for your support. Not only that, Patreon and everyone in chat right now on our Twitch, twitch.tv/The Do Over Podcast. And we have a phone line if you want to give us a call. 559-403-0193, 559-403-0193. If we have time to take one of those calls, maybe Orky just text me and cue me if someone's calling, and maybe we can pipe him in. Now, we have Elliot Jams right there.
Yeesh.
We got Colleen on the move right there.
Moving and grooving.
Colleen, what happened to your sweater, the Wifey Club sweater?
I have it. It's right here.
Oh, now you're wearing, what does that shirt say?
I love my husband.
I love my husband.
I love my husband.
Okay, so this is a legit question.
And I have pants on, if anybody was wondering. I have pants on.
They're very flesh colored. Here's a question. Since that's like a low cut booby shirt, do you think it says I love my husband on it to be like, hey, these are owned?
Okay.
These are owned boobs.
That's right. I won't propose to him.
No.
I won't propose to my man.
No. Every shirt that is form-fitting is a boob shirt for girls that have boobs.
Yeah. Don't I know it?
So
Holla.
Holla.
Holla. Shout out Sarah's boobs.
So my husband just says your body just makes everything look inappropriate.
That's a good compliment, though.
That's a great compliment.
That's a good compliment.
He's a great husband.
It's just like the other day when
I really love my husband.
You know what I noticed? And this is great. So we were talking the other day about how when Darren was here, shout out Darlene.
Yeah, Darlene.
I was like, hey,
Darlene,
you need to be worried if your significant other stops objectifying you, right? Because like, look, here's the real deal. Love can go so far. But you still need to be attracted to that person. You can love a motherfucker, but if
you still need to chase.
You still need to chase.
Yeah.
So when your significant other stops objectifying you, then you need to be like, okay, well, what's going on? So Sarah would get so mad because I would walk by and just like, because she does this thing where, and it just drives me wild whenever she does it. She'll be on the phone and she'll like, Sarah has always bent over at the waist, right? She doesn't like bend her knees. She always bends over at the waist. And I'm always like, yeah.
That's on purpose.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So she's like on her phone like this, and I'll walk by and I'll just like smack her ass. And she's always like, stop it. After that conversation, I've been getting away with the ass slaps. She's never, for like a couple weeks now.
Oh, no.
She's never like, don't do it. I'm like,
No, you always go by like a little drive-by.
Yeah, you just got to get a little pinch.
Yeah.
Little pinch.
Oh, man.
No, what was that story Jimmy was saying when he was picking up Colleen? He's like, I was looking for my wife and I saw her boobs over around a corner.
My God. Okay.
She was two steps behind the corner.
I found out that conversation was between him and my cousin's husband. And he was like, oh, yeah, let's do something. Like, I got to find my wife. And I guess my cousin's husband was like, is that her? And they just looked over and looked at each other and both just started cracking up laughing. I was mortified.
Why would you be mortified? Look,
Yeah, it's a great story.
it's a good, I wish that I had that thing to where like my wife would be like, anything you wear makes you look too hot. I'd be like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like that'd be a good compliment.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So how does Jimmy, because you are a very, how do I put this? What I love about Colleen, I was going to talk about this when we were doing our hump to hump, but what I love about
Colleen,
Colleen,
done my hump to hump.
we're going to do it.
Oh, we're still on
She
it?
is, she's like a fearless like person. You know what I mean? Like she has this fearless way about going about anything. Like she just goes for it. She's a go-getter. She's a bulldog, but she's also like, she's also like a person, but like, the other day I was talking to Colleen and she was just having a human moment, right? You're just like, man, I'm just drained. I'm having a human moment. And I'm like, I want bitchy Colleen back.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So
where's the bitch?
Sometimes we need to be people again.
Yeah. So he calls, he texted me like 8 times, but he called me and I didn't answer. And then he called me again later and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, playing Civilization 6.
Ooh, Civ 6?
I was like, boo.
Civ 7 came out, and so Civ 6 went on sale for like $5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just FYI. I'm checking out.
I used to get into that game.
So I started playing at 7 a.m. and I talked to him at 7:15 p.m.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
First time I played it, I ended up playing for 12 hours on one game, and I don't know how it. I was like, how did this happen?
Civ fucks your time hard, dude.
Okay, so anyways, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, playing Civ 6. And he goes, well, I called you earlier today. I was like, I was also playing Civ 6. And he was like, okay, well, what are you doing later today? And I was like, probably still playing Civ 6.
That's right.
Because I literally hate this week. I don't know why. It's just one of those weeks that's like
this week was weird, man.
Yeah,
like it was
not my
Monday
thing.
and then it was Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
It's because you're working, Elliot. Like that's how it is. That's adult life, dude.
Mhm.
Like that's gonna be your life until you retire. It's you work.
Yeah.
Okay. You work and you're like, what happened? Buddy, that's what it is, man.
Well, ain't none of us going to be able to retire.
You'll
We're going to
retire
be 80
eventually.
dying at work.
Hey, chat, everyone calm down. You see, bonk. Calm the fuck down, chat. Stop objectifying Colleen.
What?
All right.
I can't read that. It's too small.
It's too small. There's a
giant
65-inch television right here.
65?
Yeah, but
That's
but
nice.
the font isn't 65. Oh, look, Orky's making it bigger for me.
Aww.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet.
Anyways,
I don't
before
think
we
it's
get to
bigger,
your
it's further away.
before we get to your hump to hump, Elliot,
Yo.
I will say though, seeming that I'm back on the diet, I think I got rid of all the holiday chub.
All right, there we
I'm
go.
feeling good.
No,
back in the normal pants, back in the normal shirt.
I must drive
Yeah.
Lady Jams up a wall because I was texting her. I was at work and I was texting her yesterday. And I was like, I've actually seen progress, which is great.
Right.
Good.
And then I get a bad lighting here or at Grog's or just at work or at home. And I'm like, God, I am a big gelatinous mess. I look like
at least you're not on a wide
I
angle.
look like Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens. I look just like a gelatinous blob right now. But then, you get a sick like back pump in at the gym and you're like, man,
Oh, look at that. Look at
like,
that line.
yeah, I'm looking
Look at
kind of
that
nice.
line right
And
there.
then like you take one extra turn, muffin top.
Your skin still has to exist and have some
Yeah,
form of elasticity.
you need to
in it.
have
Like that's
No,
what I had to get over.
epidermis.
I know.
That's what I had to
no,
get
I-
over. Was
I-
like when you sit like this, no matter what, no matter how skinny you are, you're gonna have a line.
No,
Like,
I know.
No matter
You're gonna have
what.
I know
So
what I
then
have to do.
like,
I
sit
just
up, but then it looks like
Yeah, you see those Instagram bitches that are like with the big butts and boobs, but the small waist, and when they're sitting down, they're just like perfect. First of all, probably touched up photos or at least heavily mastered. Second of all, they are sucking in for their life, dude. They're like, that's why they all look perfectly like, you know what I mean? Like you can't, it's just mechanically, you can't sit like that and not have a little.
No, I get that. I know what I have to do. I've been putting it off. Like if I want to get back to Sexty Day Elliot, which was like 5 years ago now,
Right,
which
yeah.
is crazy to think about. I've got to get back to doing like serious cardio, and I hate cardio. I don't want to do it. I kind of do it here and there, but like the bike isn't real cardio. Let's face it.
You could just chill on the bike. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, the Stairmaster is, but you feel like you got beat up by like 5 baseball bats after 10 minutes of it. I just got to run.
Do you have a VR? Do you have like an Oculus?
No.
I keep on forgetting that we have one. Like I totally want to play.
You gotta do.
I gotta pick up
Supernatural.
Swimming. You know what I want to play on the Oculus? So Dylan likes Minecraft, and which I think is great because she's young and it teaches her. And she comes from her mother's side, an architectural family. Her grandfather was an architect, and she likes to like build and she designs and she's artistic. So I love that I want that for her. And I remember the first time VR blew my mind was when my friend Carrie had a headset like the Vive, the Valve one. I don't know, but Minecraft was on it. Mm-hmm. And I remember putting it on and just looking around and you feel like you are in Minecraft. Mm-hmm. And I was like, blew my mind.
When you look down at your hands, do you have like blocky arms?
I don't know. I can't remember. I just know that like when you move around, it just
like
feels crazy.
Did you put that on? You were like, I am Steve.
I am Steve.
You know what? I clowned on that trailer the first time it came out. I'm coming around to it.
I'm the only one that said that it doesn't look that bad. It's a fucking kids movie.
Like, I don't think it'll make as much money as like the Mario movie, but I think it'll be a fun little kid romp.
It probably will.
Yeah.
Colleen.
Yes.
What the hell you been up to this last week?
Okay, so I got to pull out my calendar.
I'm going to pull out my calendar.
Okay, so first.
That's
what I need to start doing. I need to put my calendar. I need to update my calendar.
You need to too.
I know.
You need to too. I'm about ready to
I don't like phone calendar though.
Snap. Then don't use a phone calendar. Use a different one. I use all kinds of calendars. This connects to my Alexa, which is in my kitchen, so my whole family can see what we're doing.
I have calendars on calendars on calendars. You're just a planner, dude.
No,
you're a planner.
She's a planaholic.
I'm not.
You're not. Are you what? High?
Okay, hold on.
You
I am not.
plan things months in advance.
I schedule. I'm a scheduler, not a planner. I'm totally down to do whatever, whenever, as long as I'm available. But if I did not have a calendar, I would be like you. And you are just chaos. You have all these great ideas that only happen at 50% capacity because you have all these other great ideas that are getting in the way.
That's right. I shoot from the hip.
Meaning that you're always working at an F level.
That's right. You're always working it, baby.
I work at the highest of levels.
Okay, so Teppanyaki. We went to Teppanyaki on Wednesday. They had their grand opening. It was a new teppanyaki place. Totally loved it.
Speaking of grand openings, April 6th, Sirens.
Yes,
yeah,
and
we're going to get to that.
Sirens and something.
Oh, we'll get to it again.
Sirens and Sage, Elliot.
Sage. I said in Sage.
I'm bad with names.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're going to get to that.
Elliot. Okay, and then on Friday, my kids do therapy. And then on Saturday, we went to Roger Rocca's and saw Waitress. I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Wait, is Waitress the name of the...
It's the name of the play.
I thought you meant like you went there and saw a waitress.
No,
and I was
that's the name of the play, and it's not
the waitress from Always Sunny.
So Waitress. It's just not for... It just wasn't for me. Jimmy had his MRI, so we have a little bit... Okay. So
is he more denim than man?
He's a denim man. He's a denim
I told Jimmy.
Is he just becoming more Canadian by the minute?
Yeah. Dude, speaking of, really quickly, before I forget, I've been really trying to get the neighbor of one of our flip properties to come in and do our podcast. He's the most Canadian man you've ever met. Not only that, he has a ponytail.
Ooh.
And he trades in the stock market.
I trade in the stock market.
Oh, no. But
I have a ponytail.
No. Hold on. Wait. This is all he does.
So he's like a day trader?
He's like a day trader,
or
dude.
He's like a swing trader.
Yes.
He'd be like a swing trader.
I need him to come and talk on this podcast because when I say it's like, he's like, hey, oh, yeah, all those Hoosers. Like, this is him. I don't think I've met a more Canadian man my whole life. And to know that we have this gym right next to this house, I need him here. We call him Smokey.
Well, I need him here so he can help.
I don't even know his real name. We just call him Smokey.
I need him here so he can help my stonks.
Yeah, he's going to put us up on game.
He needs to. And I mean, I tried following the Pelosi tracker and then the market crashed.
You know the funny thing about, without getting into it, he shorted everything when all the announcement, like the economic announcements of the new administration started, and they all started taking, he made a fucking killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just sorted it up, and I was like,
actually surprisingly not hard to read the market most of the time.
you have to pay attention to the news.
You do have to pay, well, or whatever your niche is. So for me, I did medical and like medical studies, and when I used to swing trade. And you just have to follow, like what's up and coming, what their quarterlies are going to be like.
I did parts.
It was a lot of work because the market opens at like 5 a.m. our time, and I was working swing shift, so I was like awake super late. Okay, we're gonna move on. A Jimmy update. Jamar. Okay, so for those of you that may have missed it before, my husband has like a weird blood disorder where this only happened one time, but essentially his blood would not transfer his oxygen to the rest of his body. It's called hemoglobin M disease. You can Google it, look it up.
It's extremely rare.
It's extremely rare. Less than like 100 people worldwide. And he got an injection of something called methylene blue. And
what is methylene blue?
It is.
He's blue.
It's a blue. It's a blue. So it is it's a chemical compound that was originally used to dye like Levi blue jeans.
I have a picture of all of the men in the world that have gone through this treatment because of what is it called?
Hemoglobin M disease.
What?
Here.
Or methhemoglobinemia.
That's them right there.
That's them right there.
Yeah, they all went through that treatment.
They all went through it.
They all went through that treatment. And
now they're great at the drums.
Yeah.
They all.
He's also
something about
a good musician.
Something about it just makes them amazing at like playing drums on pipes and shit.
You know what would be really funny is if like Vegas started doing different colored people like that. And just
like the Green Man group.
Yeah, like no, seriously. And then like they do like a battle of the colors at the end to like who reigns supreme. It's kind of like Camelot Park. You bring all the different colored knights in. You just bring the different colored people in. They perform, and then whoever wins becomes like king of that round.
You know, I do like it, Elliot. I do like the battle royale nature.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I do enjoy that.
And like they all get different instruments. So like the blue man group is all drums like they normally are. But like the red guys are like all bass players.
Yeah, they're all just shredding on the bass.
The red man group.
And then like green gets like a weird flute or something. You're like, figure it out, guys.
Like
I don't know. Yeah.
A harp. They all get harps.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so he already has some issues with like what is it called with your stomach when you have lots of stomach acid?
Oh, indigestion?
Yeah, but what
acid reflux?
What's the specialist called for
a gastrointestinal?
Yeah. So he already has a gastrologist. That sounds like somebody that studies at STARS.
Sounded like somebody who's got gas.
I'm so gassy.
He's so gassy. So the way Kaiser works is you have to see, if you already have a specialist, you have to rule out that whatever your current issue is not contributing to your new serious issue. So he had to see gastro first. So he had to get an upper and lower endoscopy.
Mm-hmm.
So we did all that, and it came back and he was fine. He had, there were several issues, I guess, with it, but nothing that really like ties into his condition.
It doesn't make the condition worse.
Correct. So what they're looking for is an internal bleed.
Okay, why the fuck? Hold on. I am so sad for Jimmy because Jimmy is like the nicest.
He's like the best person in the world.
No. Like legit, you know, there's a few people that I know in real life that are just like the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's one of them. Rini, okay, Dash.
Yeah.
These are two of the nicest, greatest people. And like Dash doesn't have these problems, but I feel like sometimes like the nicest, calmest, most genuine people get the shit in the stick.
Yeah, they win the lottery.
Oh, they win the shitty lottery.
Yeah.
Like what about and then assholes, like legit pricks, win the actual lottery.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah.
Like you got Jimmy, you know, maybe you are the lottery, Colleen. Maybe you're his lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what it is, you know? I mean, a lot of those poo-poo heads, as you call them, you know, odds are they always
I didn't say poo-poo head.
Yeah, well,
Speak like an adult.
No, I'm not going to. A lot of them always end up like with some weird charge put against them. Like You get these rich guys and be like, oh, yeah, but he's been avoiding taxes for the last 15, 20 years. So
which if you are lucky enough to win the lottery, pay your fucking taxes, bro. Imagine if you're like nothing.
I mean, you have the money. You can afford somebody to just do them for you every year.
Every year. And you know what? You can even hire people to be like, how can I pay the least amount of taxes but still make the most amount of money? And you can get people that literally do this for a living.
Yeah.
And you'll be set for the rest of your life.
Or you could be one of those rude curmudgeons that gets super wildly successful and then you find out they've been talking to a 17-year-old the whole time.
Yeah. Like, I mean, not like Dr. Disrespect or anything like that. I mean, okay, you know, here, let's talk about this.
Wisconsin guy.
Let's talk about this for a second. So I don't understand. I guess this will be a good transition into this. So I'm glad Jimmy's okay, but it's kind of still wonky, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, hold on. Let me finish real quick. So he did the endo portion. So I saw somebody comment in the chat that it is that methylene blue is a cure for or an antidote for
sodium nitrate poisoning.
Yeah. So or cyanide poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctors are very, very stuck on like you're a drug addict or there's something wrong or you did something or you took something. So nothing is found with endo and upper and lower. So that our next step is brain. Okay, we got to see if there's any dark spots, if there's if there's any bleeding in the brain. So we see a neurologist and we talk to the nurse and everything. And then the neurologist comes in. So the day that he had the episode, he had taken a pot gummy because he had a headache.
Right.
He already was purple to me at this point, but we hadn't left our friend's house. And so she comes in because that's what the doctor is stuck on. He obviously did drugs.
Right,
like he's obviously a drug addict or he did something or whatever because he ate a pot gummy. And she comes in and she sits right in front of him. And now my husband is the calmest person on the face of the planet. But when he gets triggered, there is no stopping him. He is a bulldozer. He goes from totally calm to what do you mean? And it's like that. And I'm like, oh God. And I'm like having to put foam blocks between the two of them. And she comes in, she sits in front of him and she goes, okay, so we just know that you can't do those kinds of drugs anymore, right? That's like the first thing she says. That's the first thing she says. And he goes, I'm sorry, where is this coming from? And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's about to go down.
We're like, now nothing good is going to come from this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And she was basically like, what do you mean? Where is this coming from? I'm only going off of the information on your chart. Now, so I grab his arm and I'm like, let me
calm down.
Let me do this. Let me do this because he knows like I will be like, you need to stop talking. Right. But I'm going to do it. You attract more bees with honey. So I'm like, I'm just calm down. And then I'm like, I'm sorry. I think the issue here is that you're reading something that it's another medical professional put in his chart. He was already purple before and had a headache before he took the one micro pot gummy.
Right. And pot wouldn't.
No. Well, I mean, no, it's definitely not going to be the cause. Did it make things worse? Probably. Did smoking a cigarette make things worse? Probably. But like
anything that restricts
oxygen or slows down your body is going to make things worse.
I have a story about this. So
pot gummies?
No. I can't remember exactly what the string of events were. We were going to go visit my parents when they lived in Napomo. This is when Dylan was baby. This is before Taylor. Okay. So I think Dylan was only like less than that, maybe like 8 months old, something. And on the way there, Sarah's like, oh, I'm not feeling good, like shifting. I'm like, well, you have a stomach problem? She's like, so I get her some medicine. We go to my parents, we visit. She's still not feeling great. Take her back. Long story short, she ended up having like a gallbladder problem. She had gallstones, right? Ew. So they remove the gallstones and send her back. And when she comes back, she's like, something's not right. Something's not right. And she's like, I need to go now. So like Sarah's not a has to go now person. She like, if there's like an emergency, I think I was on air when that happened and I got up and I took her. When I wasn't on air. It was at night. So when I take her, we get into the emergency room and I look the way I look, right? Like no one knows that I've been sober at this time, like 13 years at the time. And we get in there and she's like in serious pain, like something's wrong. She's in the bed And I'm sitting there in the emergency room with her, and we're at Kaiser, and I just start laying on the ground because it's late. It's like late, but I'm not gonna like leave her.
Right.
So the doctor comes in, and they bring like two of like the dude nurses that probably are just there to like crowd control. It's like, you got to leave. I'm like, what? He's like,
You're
yeah.
in the emergency room?
Yeah. He's like, you got to leave. You can't be
visiting
here. I'm like, okay. So I walk out. Doctor walks in. He's like, oh, let me guess. You want some drugs? To her. They do her blood. It comes back way off the chart. She had minutes before her gallbladder was about to go to shit.
Uh-huh.
Rush her to the emergency room, do emergency surgery, remove it out of her body. And I was like, I wanted to sue those motherfuckers, or at least report them so bad. I kept my mouth shut, but it's like, they thought we were there for drugs just because like I look like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, and that's Jimmy.
And granted,
Jimmy
I wanted so many drugs, Elliot. I was like, give me some drugs.
Look, it's not about what I wanted, but here's my list.
Yeah. I don't want drugs. Give me some of these.
Yeah.
She would do well with these ones
I
right
think
here.
But just put them in a bottle and
just put them in.
I'll give them to her when we get home.
It rhymes with Borco.
Just put the pills in the bag, bro.
Yeah, no, and he has purple hair and he's covered in tattoos and he can't see anything. And my husband is crazy. Like, he's sporadic and wild. And we did talk. He's camera shy. So he's camera shy. So when you were talking to him at like Grog's, he's just like,
he's like, no.
Sorry,
okay. But he's like literally hilarious and wild and crazy. He does wild and crazy things. So they just assume like because of his appearance, my appearance, I don't know, but the point is that it's in his chart, so it's there forever. So now every time we see a doctor, we kind of have to, if the doctor doesn't know him, we have to explain that part of the chart because the doctor clearly wrote up that this was caused from marijuana.
Yeah, which is the stupidest.
Maybe a 10 milligram gummy.
I was telling this to someone the other day. Oh, okay, so doctors are smart enough to get through medical school, but if you think about that,
it's a practice.
Hold on, think. Just because of the way that statistically the bell curve works, there are going to be shitty doctors.
Yeah,
there's going to be excellent doctors, and there's going to be a lot of doctors that are just good enough.
Yeah.
There's going to be shit doctors that are just bad or like lost the passion, don't give a fuck, don't look into it. Like, that's going to happen. Just because they have a medical degree does not necessarily mean that they don't need a second opinion. I trust doctors, but sometimes you need second opinions, third opinions, experts in the field to come in and help. So, well, I'm glad that Jimmy is...
Yeah, we're still working on things.
Still working on things, but you know what? No more attacks. We're going blue. We're going to take a very short break. We're going to come back. We got some news stories.
Yep.
Switch 2 coming up. Okay.
That I can't afford.
Don't worry, dog. I'll let you play mine. The Avengers release strategy. The texting of a journalist during making war plans. That's just funny.
United Airlines.
You take the politics out of it. That shit's funny. Okay. We got some open breaks that we're going to get to as well. And that's all coming up next. What's up? This is Drew from the Do Over Podcast. And I'm going to tell you right now, I lean on expertise. Why? Because it saves me money. Here's a true story. When I first got into cameras, I watched a couple of videos online, did a Google search, thought I was buying the right thing, went and invested almost $1,000 into my very first camera, realized quickly it was not the right thing, went to Horn Photo, got it all in line, and then boom, I'm on my journey to actually being a photographer. And throughout the years, I've really leaned on Horn Photo as being one of those outlets that we are so lucky to have right here in the Central Valley. And they are the official equipment sponsor of the Do Over Podcast. They're right there in the Visalia. All you have to do is walk in, tell them that the Do Over sent you, and they will get you right on track. Maybe you're trying to take stills, do creative content, you want to do live streaming, whatever it is, they have a camera for you. They also do printing services, restoration services, anything that has to do with photography. Horn Photo has your back. Once again, it's right there in the Visalia. And there's a reason why Horn Photo has been in business for as long as they have. They've been making memories last since 1937. All right, we are back. Elliot's been talking to the chat, chatting it up. Chat live on Twitch.
Cathy. I'm a real chatty Cathy.
All right, twitch.tv/the-do-over-podcast. Also, we have a phone number if you want to give us a call, 559-403-0193. If we don't get to your call, you can leave a message and we'll get back to you. Or at least here.
I think people should be calling us throughout the week, and then when we get a whole bunch of
just play them at the end.
Yeah, and then we just respond to them. So like if you had a hypothetical, would you rather, maybe you have a question for us, we can then answer them at the end of every pod.
And I think that's a very good strategy, Elliot.
I'm a strategist guy. I'm a strategist.
You're a strategist guy?
I'm one of them there. I'm one of them there strategizers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a strategist guy. Let me tell you.
I'm a strategist guy.
Colleen.
Yes.
I just used the bathroom.
Oh,
Smells
job.
like Colleen went poopy doopy.
I haven't been up in like over an hour.
Colleen
I
went
haven't
poopy
stood up
doopy.
today.
Okay.
Big old doopy poopy up in there.
I want to know why you know what my poopy doopy smells like.
I don't, because you obviously
you just come to my house and smell my toilet.
Hey, you went poopy doopy.
For reals?
You know what the funny thing is?
It's a little invasive, Drew, that you know what my poopy
Drew
doopy
knocks
smells
on
like.
the door and he just sounds like a dog.
He's not even knocking. I just hear in my bathroom and I'm like, oh, Drew's here again. Smelling my poopy doopy.
That's quesarito. I smelled it. Anyways, good morning.
Quesarito, what is that?
You don't know what a quesarito? Oh, fucking! You don't know what a quesarito? The best thing Taco Bell ever had.
Yeah, it used to be
that eliminated it for zero reason.
I don't know.
Without
I think the best thing that they had that they eliminated was the empanada.
Okay, let's get into this. Before we get to our news story,
discontinued stuff. It's about time.
What is the best? There's two for me. The best discontinued Taco Bell items, in my opinion.
Taco Bell.
Hold on, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, the volcano taco.
Agreed.
Number two, the quesarito. I think they're neck and neck. Like
I don't know if they still do it. They used to do like a cheesy potato burrito. I don't think they do that anymore.
No.
That was a banger.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like the steakhouse burrito.
Mm-hmm.
They used to load that thing up with steak.
The double XL grilled stuffed burrito, that was good too.
Grilled steak burrito, yeah.
But,
that was great.
This isn't Taco Bell, but Burger King used to be the absolute play for breakfast because not only is the croissant, which is still good, and it's 2 for $5 still, but it used to be like 2 for $3, and then you could get Cine Minis, which were like $1, and they were a 6-pack, and they came with frosting on the side, so you could just dunk it. They stopped doing it for God knows why. Then they tried bringing them back, but they changed the recipes, so they sucked. And it's such a bummer.
I remember when they changed the recipe for the chips at Taco Bell, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?
I don't
What the hell is this?" That's
Grilled
because I'm old, Colleen. I'm an old man.
Yeah, you're so old. You're like super old.
Just an old guy trying to stay relevant. I am
a fossil.
Ancient.
I know. I'm an ancient man.
He was the fossil they found in Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Drew.
I got that gray coming in.
It's Drew-assic Park.
I've had gray since I was 21.
I got gray here. Oh, yeah. I see a little bit of it.
Yeah. I've had gray since I was 21.
Do you rock it on purpose or do you
I love my gray, and if I could keep my gray and just dye the rest of my hair red, I totally would.
Yeah.
You should do the Reed Richards. You should just
have a little
the gray sideburns.
Little salt and pepper, little silver fox.
Little S&P.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to some news stories.
Okay.
Now, the first news story, I'm going to beg everyone in chat and whoever's watching this, take politics aside. Take the politics out of it. Okay. Talking about a funny situation, in my opinion. Is it concerning? Sure. But it's still funny that it actually happened. So, without getting way into it, because there's some cool entertainment news we could talk about that everyone can relate to. And that's typically what we do at the Do Over podcast. We don't try to alienate people with politics. We had that one episode, but we don't typically try to do that. But this was so too good to be true.
It's the biggest story in the news cycle right now.
So the Trump members of the Trump cabinet and the not Ministry of Defense, but our Department of Defense, accidentally roped in a journalist for The Atlantic, the editor-in-chief.
Yeah, the head honcho over at The Atlantic.
And started texting about a Houthi strike that was going to happen at a specific date.
Yeah, in Yemen.
And the journalist didn't think it was real until he saw the strike on the news, and he was like, oh, shit. This was real. Now, here are the couple of real life concerns that people are having. Apparently through these channels, you're not supposed to discuss classified information like this. That's one.
Right. It was
two,
through Signal too.
Yeah.
It was like a public app.
Right.
Which they've talked about not using because
it's vulnerable.
Yeah, it's vulnerable. Yeah. Right.
It's almost like WhatsApp, dude. It's just vulnerable.
Right.
What was the app?
Signal.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, I in my head laughed, even though sure, it's concerning, right? Anytime that any classified information and, the leakiness of certain things happens in government, you know what I mean? Like they call it a leaky ship. There will be cracks in the foundation. Like the information gets through somehow or leaves us vulnerable to attack or somehow that information being collected. So yeah, that's concerning. I wanted to see that motherfucker's face when he realized it was real. Imagine if you're just at home high. Mm-hmm. Like you just smoked 2 bowls and you're about to eat cereal and you get a burp, 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 and you look and it's like our vice president fucking
I would think it was spam. I would think it was fake.
I would think it's fake, but obviously he probably has these numbers saved in his phone because he's the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. Mm-hmm. So he's looking, he's like, no fucking way. And just how like when he realized that was real, because not only is it like kind of crazy that it even happened, but the funniest part is that like it's literally your job to put this shit out there, right? And it's like it's probably gold being served up to you.
Oh yeah,
on a silver platter.
It's the easiest story you tell.
It's the easiest, craziest story you told.
Easiest layup you got.
I'm only going to say this when it comes to the political side of things. Okay, because as I've said, I'm very politically fluid. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm kind of just all over the place. And that's just because I try to be a multifaceted person and at least open-minded enough to agree and disagree, but change my opinion if I need to. The tribalism in politics aside, I don't like hypocrites or people that don't have the ability to cop to their errors. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the Trump problem in general, at least the people running everything around him, his whole cabinet, is that he usually installs people that are very loyal, very agreeing with him. Like if you push back on him, he doesn't like it. So you have these people that are maybe not as qualified for the job as others because he only wants people that will kind of just hold out
his tight circle.
Well, that will agree with him. A lot of them are yes men and women. A lot of people that won't push back on what he's saying. And that is important to be a good leader. You need people that counter, like if I was to ever be a president, I would have members of both political parties all over the place guiding me and using that information. But the tribalism in politics and the way that he fills these roles are people that are very loyal to him specifically. So you don't really get a lot of counterplay.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate and say, what if you were in that role in a place of power and you had shots literally fired at you? How hard would it be for you to trust an opposing party?
Do I know that I'm one of the most polarizing people and figures in the face of the planet?
I mean, that's the whole.
Do I say bigoted and racist shit all the time and then go like, I don't know?
I'm playing devil's advocate answer the question.
And I'm asking your question with a question. Like, am I aware that...
I don't know. Are you aware? That's yes, for you to answer.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what do you do? So then wouldn't the smart thing for your life...
He did it the first time. He did it the first time. And this is why they had such a leaky ship the first time. It's the same problem. The same problem is that if you're picking on only loyalty, but not qualification is the problem. And... you need to pick people that are qualified.
I'm not saying that
run
you're
these
wrong.
things.
I agree with you. I do agree with what you're saying. The problem is people. You talked about this earlier about communication.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're going to break it down to the very bare minimum, if he's looking at the quality of people's education and ability and their loyalty to him, and one of them, his life rests in their hands, what are you going to pick? We all ultimately want survival.
Yeah.
That's our end goal for everybody.
Okay, but you're also not the leader of the free world.
I mean,
like,
that's because
the problem is that
people.
We don't have one kind of people here. Okay. We have many different kinds of people here with many varying opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You need to follow the rules about sensitive information, first of all. You should not be
100%.
using something like a WhatsApp to fucking communicate strikes on other countries.
Also, like when
you need to be competent enough not to circle in people on group chats that are not should not be privy to that information.
We're all social people, right?
Yeah.
We all have a plethora of text messages, whether if it's individuals or group chats.
Mhm.
You know the first thing you do when you have a new group chat pop up? You look to see who's in it.
Yeah.
Right.
When I'm added to a group chat, the first thing I do is I look at who's there if I recognize contacts. Odds are you would have noticed, what's the Atlantic doing in this?
Yeah.
You would know, like, oops.
My whole point, and to go back, Colleen, is that sure, pick loyal people. Pick the best qualified loyal people you can, but you need to pick competent people. And that's an incompetent move. And their strategy of dealing with this fallout is to fight their way out instead of being like, oh, we fucked up. I would respect the fact of someone saying, yes, we did this. It was an accident. We fucked up. Those three things right there, I'd be like, well, they're going to fix the problem. Right.
Right.
But their whole goal and how they handle that fallout is to degrade, lie, and blame everyone else. And that's
the thing. That's the issue with politics.
In general, yes.
In general, it's because there has to be plausible deniability because of legal reasons. And like working for a federal, being a federal employee or even being a state employee, when you talk to people, if you are a federal or state employee that talks to people, you are bound by law in certain instances. And there are times where you have to either not say or say things that you don't want to say for legal reasons.
No,
and
copy.
it is because we are people.
I'm saying, yes, when you work for what a lot of people don't understand.
The whole system is just shot. Everything's shot about it.
But everyone that doesn't like Trump and then watches what they do are not realizing that they're pulling out the president's directive. That's what their job is. I get that. So even if I don't like some of the shit that they do, I'm like, okay, well, they're still trying to enforce his agenda. That's his whole point of being, he was elected. This is what he wants to do. I get that.
Yeah.
What concerns me is when we are in a very sensitive state right now, you have several wars going on that can literally kick off World War III on several different fronts. And we should have a tight ship. That is concerning. That is concerning. What's funny about the situation is just whatever that fucking guy's face looked like when he realized that he just won the lottery, like the informational lottery, dude. Like that is because you know how many people that didn't know about the Atlantic knows about the Atlantic now?
I think their Google search went up like 1,000% since Monday.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then he released the whole thing. And that's
they said he was lying, and then he was like, all right, bet.
Here.
And then he posted all of it. Yeah.
So my whole point is that I just hope that we can shore up that shit. It's the same thing about using private email servers or whatever, like the carry of sensitive information. I don't like when Biden had classified documents in his fucking garage. I didn't like it when Trump had classified documents in a fucking closet. I don't think any of that shit should be easily obtained by anyone.
And people at that level are traditionally not held accountable, unfortunately, or have enough, they can pull enough strings to get away with things that people like you and I could not get away with.
I think that's what
and I think
the
that's
American people want more than anything is accountability up top.
100%.
Because if you can't be accountable, you're supposed to be our leaders.
Right.
What's to say we need to be?
Because when you have someone that's blatantly like, I am above the law, any politician, take the politics, take Trump out of it. Any politician that is clearly above the law, it makes the way that the normal public feels worse to the point where we feel like we're so helpless that people are fucking killing CEOs of health insurance companies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's so insane.
Well, we're gonna feel to the point where nothing we do can make the changes that we need to benefit our lives because all these assholes are fighting with each other. And I just want to see competence and accountability. Elliot's right. The only thing I want to see is competent leaders, that can remove ego and think about what's good for us legitimately.
And you know what people really like? when people are human beings.
Yeah.
Human beings make mistakes.
Yeah.
That is the human way. There's a reason we call it human error, right? It's because humans make mistakes. You make a mistake, but you own up to it. Not only do people get over it faster, but people respect you for owning up to it.
Right.
And I think that's my biggest problem with
when
them.
you're like, oh, nope, I don't recall. Oh, what I said yesterday? I don't recall. Hey, guess what?
Or if
Didn't recall it.
Just blatantly lying about shit or misrepresenting stuff that's easily, and like there's...
Or attacking something that happened 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, guys.
Cancel culture.
Like, we know exactly what you're saying is a lie right now.
Yeah.
It's easily found.
Yeah.
The problem is that the American public is so wrapped up into identity now because they figured it out. The identity politics is really, it is almost as good as religion when it comes to controlling your base, right? Like if you represent yourself as the good Christian politician, the good Christian people in certain areas will follow you, right? Because it's a religious connection. But the social manipulation and the social politics side of it is a really good tool to keep people fighting with each other so they're not paying attention to what fucking matters. And whenever you hear the first time is where it stops for most people. Most people won't go in for a second Google search.
Yeah.
They'll just go with what they heard.
Most people won't go past the headline.
So with all that said, I just think that's funny. It's a funny situation, but it's also a very concerning situation.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to shore that shit
that's
up
just,
afterwards.
That's just March.
Yeah, that's just March.
It's just March, guys. March.
Now let's get back into the good shit.
Let me hang on. I got a news story.
Okay.
That this happened, I think Tuesday, because we were talking about it Tuesday and we were going to talk about we got more airline shenanigans.
It's been insane.
Yeah. Not only did like Southwest just alienate their entire base and their entire their entire everything, because the one thing they have, free bag check-in, right? Not anymore.
Had.
Yeah, had. Yeah. And so now
I don't even know about that because I don't fucking fly anywhere. I don't go anywhere.
Well, like
dude.
Southwest whole thing was
places.
like you get a free checked bag, right? So you could fly cheaper. The planes are pretty mid, but when you're flying cheap, that's all you care about, getting from point A to point B. Now they don't even have that. So you're on the worst flight experience next to Spirit, and you still have to pay full price for your bags and stuff. So it sucks. But this is a United flight because United Airlines was traveling from LA to Shanghai, which Japan is about a 10-hour flight.
Yeah, 10 and a half.
Shanghai is probably closer to 12 to 14 hours, if I had to guess.
Colleen, are you going to Japan this year?
No, next year. Because
wasn't it planned this year?
Yeah. But okay, so I have to say this. So everything that I say moving forward and backwards and everything is my opinion and my opinion alone, and I am not holding the position of anyone.
Hold it. Let him do the story because I was going to talk about that next when we brought up the federal stuff.
Well, okay. So, then I'll just tell people I am a federal employee, and with things that are going on, we've just kind of put our travels on pause.
Okay. So we will talk Dojing because I have a question about that.
Okay. Yeah. Next. So flight to LA to Shanghai, long flight. Flight 198 carrying 257 passengers and 13 crew members departing LAX on March 22nd had to get redirected about 2 hours later to San Francisco, and they're already over the ocean, right? And you're thinking, well, there must have been like a plane mishap. There must have been like an engine failure or something, right? No, the pilot had forgotten his passport. So they had to make an emergency U-turn.
You have one job, bro.
They had to make an emergency U-turn and land in San Francisco to then wait for him to get his passport to then return to the flight. And
was that like home? Did he have to go home or was it in the car? Did it say?
It doesn't say, but they rearranged a new crew to take our customers to their destination that evening. So they had to swap out the entire crew and be like, hey, here's a pilot with an actual passport and here's the rest of the crew. Now you're thinking, okay, a huge flight where people try so desperately to get somewhere at a certain time because that's how travel works. They're typically going somewhere to see somebody. So if you take time away from them, they're going to be pretty mad about it. You're thinking, all right, United's going to dole out some serious perks, right?
Right.
Especially with all the planes that seem to be crashing and exploding.
like make your people happy
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Landing upside down.
Right. $15 voucher.
It would get you
Wait.
jacked every dick.
Does it say how long they were delayed?
No, it doesn't. Not in this story, at least. But
Okay.
it says, that evening. So they flew out probably in the morning and then had to land in San Francisco, had to wait for a new crew. So it was probably hours.
Yeah,
Right.
if it's over 4 hours per their contract, they have to pay out food, room and board, if it's like an overnight, whatever.
One of the passengers, Yang Shuhan, she was very frustrated, and the pilot clearly very frustrated. She received 2 meal vouchers totaling $30. If I get help, which is only valid for the next 14 business days, mind you. So, hey, her next flight, she gets to eat like a queen, I guess. My thing is this. If I get my flight delayed probably 6 to 8 hours, my next flight better be first class paid for.
Dude, the thing is,
yeah.
That that ticket alone, probably one way, is through the roof expensive.
It's almost like when the gas pump says, "Oh, you saved 4 cents a gallon." And I go, "Oh, thanks for fucking nothing." Right? "Oh, I saved 40 cents, you piece of shit." Well, okay, I'm going to save.
Unless you go to Arco and then they're like, there's a 35-cent charge.
Yeah. Like, oh,
you douche.
thanks
I
for
know.
fucking nothing, assholes. The thought of, it would have been better if it was 100. Like if they gave everyone $100, which they can clearly afford, right? $100 off your next flight. I would be like, okay, we were inconvenienced, but they gave me $100. You know what I mean? That at least helps. $15, like that. What's the cost to even check your bags?
See, and okay,
like the extra bag
this
costs
is-
like 30.
You want to know how
60.
I know they can afford? They could have given everybody first class for their next year if they wanted to. You know how I know that? Because according to March 27, 2025, Delta Airlines has a market capitalization or net worth of $29.61 billion.
Which is crazy.
Which
Crazy.
Which is almost an increase by 8% in 1 year. You had a pilot error who had to then fly back to land. So they're probably already at minimum 4 hours late. Now you got to wait for a new crew and you're like, here's $15. I'm suing.
Yeah.
I'm suing.
Well, no, I don't think you would have grounds for that, though.
Okay,
Like,
so this is
I don't think anything would happen.
Okay, so this is one. This is your sign if you're watching to always have travel insurance. 2, this is your sign to have a travel agent. Shout out me.
Yeah. Does anyone know a really good, talented travel agent that could help you get places with really good deals?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Oh yeah.
I need
that's
you to
me.
help me with Vegas.
Are we actually doing
Evo.
this?
We're doing it.
Okay.
Evo.
Yeah.
Evo this year, because I hear that it gets hella hot in Vegas. Like,
Yeah.
especially
Oh, yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
Like stupid hot though.
No,
so
I
it needs to
know.
be indoor stuff. But
Yeah.
I need your help with that because we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
But moral of the story is because I am who I am, if I'm that passenger, I'm in the airport, I've downloaded the PDF of their rules and regulations when a flight is delayed. I've uploaded that PDF into ChatGPT. I've then proceeded to ask several questions to ChatGPT as to what my rights are as the customer.
Right.
And in most cases, they do have to, if the delay is over a certain amount of time, or if they don't have a time frame, it's not due to weather or an act of God, they have to provide you with either a refund or some sort of compensation. But you have to show that to them in most cases. They're just going to tell you, this is what we can do for you. And unless you have the backbone to be like, no, according to your guidelines, it says you owe me up to this. This is what I want. Yeah, I would be on first class that next flight for sure. 100%.
I feel like I'm owed first class.
Yeah, at least.
I've never.
They should
have you ever
private
done
jet
a first class trip? I've never once done it. Have you ever?
No.
What
I
about you?
remember
I have not done first
when
class.
I was a kid, our family went to Thailand. Our long story short, business owners here in Fresno were our next door neighbors. They're from Thailand. They told us we need to go. Mom at the time worked with the airline or with Yosemite Airline. And so like we managed to get a pretty affordable flight, whatever. Thailand is like a 14-hour flight.
Yeah.
And typically you have to stop in like Japan for 2 hours and then get on your next flight, which is another 2 hours. My brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, and I, we all go, and they're like, oh, we have 2 seats in coach, 2 seats in business. And actually, sir, and they're talking to my dad, your seat's been upgraded to first class. So my dad,
he didn't sacrifice his first and give it to his wife or anyone else.
So Mom was like, me and Allie will sit together in business. And business back then was business. It was nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
My daddy's like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, me and Allie will have a girls' time. And Martin and I are like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you can't leave us back here. They did. So for 10, 12 hours, my dad sitting very comfortably, leaned back, got a blanket, getting champagne in first class. Mom and Allie getting treated with pillows, all this stuff, nice food out in business class. My brother and I were sat in the middle of a lane of chairs, meaning you have to get by like 5 or 6 people on each side just to get down to the aisle. It's hot. One of our air conditioning isn't working, so we have to share. And the food was just old school airplane gross.
Yeah.
We struggled. I still think about that flight. It was the longest 10 hours, I think, of my life.
My sister was going to get a flight to, I think it was a 2.5 hour flight. She was going back to school, right? And as we're there, they're like, hey, this opened up. It's only $20 extra if you want to be in first class. And she said no. And I was like, it's $20.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you wouldn't just go for it? Mm-hmm. Like, that's an experience because those are so expensive.
I'm taking that immediately.
So all that crazy shit aside, let's talk about something that's going to be cool, Elliot. Cool.
Ooh.
See that Nintendo Direct, son? All right. You see that Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah, I did. I thought it looked great.
I thought it looked great. Dude, if you go to Twitter, you would think they shit on a plate and offered it to everyone. Like, everyone's like, oh, this looks like a mobile game. I'm like, fucking, can you be happy?
From what it sounded like, a lot of people were like, this looks like Halo, but worse. I was like, bro, you've never played Metroid.
Yeah, shut the fuck
you
up,
don't know
bro.
Metroid.
Like,
you don't know ball.
But Switch 2, baby.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rumor going around.
Yeah, there seems to have been a leak from Best Buy.
The thing about the Switch 2 is that we all knew what was happening for a very long time. It was the worst kept secret in the industry. Then they were very tight-fisted when it came to information about Switch earlier this year.
And then it got leaked.
Well, earlier this year, they did, hey, this exists. This is what it's going to look like. No other information other than just a little clip of, what we assume is a new Mario Kart game on the Switch. That's it. Said, expect more information on the 2nd of April. Okay. Well, I don't know if you know what day it is, Colleen, but we are coming up. 2nd of April is next week.
It's next Wednesday.
When that happens, they are theorizing. There's a leaked rumor going around that the pre-orders for a Switch 2 start on April 2nd with a potential May or early June release. So here's the deal. Nintendo said that they were taking so long to announce anything specifically because they wanted to have enough supply so they don't have a scalping problem. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if you're going to say that, and then the pre-orders go live, and of course, when that happens, it's going to congest the internet. It's going to be a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can't get one, you full of shit.
You are a liar.
You're a liar. Okay. So what is your
and then
theory?
Accountability.
Yes. What do you think's going to happen? All right. Do you think that it's going to be pirated and scalped? Or do you think that it'll be like you'll be able to walk into Target and buy one? Because that's how I got my first Switch.
I could see.
We walked into Walmart and bought 2 of them. They were just there.
I could see.
Day one.
I could see maybe the first month. It's a quick sellout just because of how I think it'll be in such demand. I mean, the Switch 1 was one of the most successful consoles of all time.
Yeah.
So I could see the Switch 2 having something similar happen, but I don't see them having like a PlayStation or an Xbox problem.
No.
Nothing was that bad.
Well, and that was during a chip shortage and it was COVID and it was kind of wonky.
Right.
But now those times have passed. And if they're going to say they're going to make enough units to basically satisfy the first run of all these. I mean, like you could literally make 30 million of those units and have that ready for because like even though the Switch 2 sold like 120 million units or something like that, Switch 1 sold like 120 plus million units, right? It's the second most
just behind PlayStation
console.
2.
Yep, right behind PS2. It still took years to hit that point. Like it took years and years and years and years. And what do you think the price is going to be?
What was the last Switch? About 300?
350.
Yeah.
350? I could see 450.
Just $100 more?
I could see them doing 450, maybe 500 for a deluxe.
You think five?
My bet's $4.99.
$4.99?
I
think
could
500?
I could see 450, but if you wanted to get like a boosted one with an extra game or something, I could see 5.
I bet you it's going to be $400. My guess is $400.
I hope so.
$50 more than the previous product. They're going to do, apparently there's a 3-phase kind of rumor going around that they're going to be like focusing straight up on first party games to start with. If that's the case, the loss that you take on the unit, you make back up with software sales, and they need the hardware in people's hands in order to get the software sales. So I almost guarantee you it will be no more than $400, especially because even though like there's adult gamers everywhere and everyone plays Switch, it is still a Nintendo. That is like a child's thing, right? 500 is a big ask for a Switch. 400 ain't. I think it's going to be no more than $400.
No,
I could be wrong.
I think 400's fair, especially if you think about how long you're going to be using the Switch. Like I still use my Switch kind of regularly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
how much is the PS5 right now?
It depends on which one you get. The PS5 Pro is pricey, but like you can get a PS5 right now for like 400, I think.
But it's been out for a while now.
4-5 years.
Yeah. And I mean, they barely made any just PlayStation 5 games.
400. Like the digital console for 400. The standard disc fed version of it's 5.
See,
right?
And I thought that they would be equivalent to whatever because that's going to be the low price, right? Because you can get a PlayStation for, I was thinking it was $4.99 was what I was thinking.
It is.
That's why
it is. Like the digital only version of it, you can get for $400 right now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think that it'll be $4.99 because they'll say we're the cheapest newest, we're equivalently priced to this 5-year-old console.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that they're going to have like a standing. It'll be interesting to see.
We're going to do one more quick story here, take our last break, come back, listen to some messages, do some open breaks, and we're going to get the hell on out of here. Want to thank everyone at twitch.tv/The Do-Over Podcast and everyone on YouTube. Remember to subscribe. It's free to do. We don't need your money, but we do need your eyes and ears.
And also your money.
And also your money. No, just kidding. We don't need your money, but well, I mean, kind of, but shut up. I'm just saying, thank you for listening. And it's to support us. If you like and share it, like share the video with other people, that helps.
Or put a bunch of shares on the screen.
Speaking of strategies, Elliot,
yes,
of us becoming internet gods,
becoming strategizers,
Marvel announced the lineup for Avengers Doomsday. Now, this is not
more like a history book. It just went down the line.
This is not Secret Wars, but they announced Doomsday. Okay. Let me go.
Is Doomsday the one coming up first, or is Secret Wars the coming up first?
Doomsday is first.
Okay.
Avengers.
Okay.
All right. So, but the way they did it was interesting.
They just threw a bunch of chairs and said, "Here you go."
They hung on a chair for 12 minutes at a time. And slowly, the next 12 minutes was on the next name. And there was like fucking 40 names.
That's mad long.
Robert Downey Jr.
We know that.
Dr. Doom.
Yep.
Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Oh, okay. Thor's
Anthony
back.
Mackie is Captain America.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay. Paul Rudd is Ant-Man.
Oh, he's back.
Letitia Wright as Black Panther.
Okay.
We have Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Solid.
Nice. Good to see
Florence
Loki back.
Pugh as Black Widow's sister Yelena.
Okay.
We have Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent. David Harbour as Red Guardian. Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier. Okay. Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic.
Cool.
Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman.
Right.
Eben Moss Bacharach, cousin as the Thing.
It's clobbering time, cousin.
Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch.
Right.
Patrick Stewart's Professor X.
Again?
Mm-hmm. Ian McKellen as Magneto.
Look, cool, but also like these guys are 1,000.
I know. Well, Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler. Rebecca Romaine as Mystique.
Yep, the OGs.
Yep. James Marsden as Cyclops. Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Good for him. Good for him.
Simu Liu.
He's been wanting that for a while.
Simu Liu as Shang-Chi.
It's good to see him back too.
Love him.
Tinoch Huerta Mejia as Namor. Winston Duke as M'Baku.
Ooh, I do love M'Baku.
Yeah. Louis Pullman as Bob, who is the Sentry.
Right.
Okay. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost.
Okay.
Danny Ramirez as the new Falcon. This is the full announced lineup. What I do like is that they are getting like the OG X-Men team together.
Yeah, that is cool.
And like, but straggler Avengers. And I think they're doing that because the team of the Avengers is so like kind of broken, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like there's not like the big mainstay actors that are involved in this. Like you heard no Don Cheadle,
No Spider-Man.
no Spider-Man.
No Thor.
So because
not
of that,
Thor, no Hulk.
Mhm.
bringing back the original Fox X-Men and rolling him into the MCU and like going proper with them can probably help the cast out a little bit.
Question.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much, though, that I feel like it's not going to be enough of any one specific story.
Hang on. though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you think they wait to bring Halle Berry back for Storm?
Shit. That's a good question.
That would be sick.
Who is going to die?
Because Thor,
There's too many of them. Somebody's
A
dying.
lot of them.
Because Halle Berry survived those X-Men
Yeah.
movies.
See, the thing with this story in general and leading into
Mhm.
Secret Wars, it's a big multiverse affair.
Right.
It's incursions and all this shit. And I kind of see what they're doing a little bit.
Mhm.
Like they're going to normalize the teams being integrated.
Mhm.
And then you're going to like, what I'm excited for this movie, obviously. But I'm super pumped for Secret Wars because Secret Wars is going to be just so comic book. It's going to be so comic book logic, comic book everything. Like, here's a place called Greenland where all the fucking Thors live, and or not
Hulks.
Thors, Hulks. All the fucking Hulks live here in Greenland.
And the vice president can't come.
I think
Yeah.
so. Fun fact: I hate the movie theater. Jimmy absolutely loves it.
I love the movie theater.
Loves
I
the
love
movie
the
theater.
movie.
I love the movie
so
theater.
we have a agreement, and the agreement is anytime a Marvel movie comes out, it is the one movie that we see in the theaters. And for me, anytime a dinosaur movie comes out, it's the movie.
Oh, okay. You're
So
going to
it's
see Jurassic.
just- so it's just Jurassic Park and the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I am going to be really, really upset because I think Loki's going to die.
Again?
I think, because he's holding.
He's holding. Dude,
holding.
how good was Loki though?
Oh
The series.
my god, that's
It's
I'm
so
like,
fucking good.
oh, like
so good.
so good.
It was so
So good.
emotional, dude. I fucking cried at the when he was like, and it's
good.
called Glorious Purpose, and like it just his
Mhm.
character arcs. I feel like all the character arcs that you've had in the MCU, Loki's is by far the best. Both times, Loki's is the best.
I just love him as a person.
So
too.
this is what we're gonna do. Marvel, even though a lot of people were like, "Hey, what the fuck? 12 minutes per chair. What the fuck? This is so
it's
stupid."
exhausting. Yeah.
It had like 9 million people
for
watching live. People were all talking about it, all reporting on it. Kind of smart marketing, even though it was kind of boring.
I have a quick little theory that I think they're going to do because it's going to be they got the whole list, but they've kept some of the old people, the old names out, right? Like Spider-Man isn't in the announcement. Hulk's not in the announcement. Chris Evans wasn't in the announcement. I have a theory that at the end of Doomsday, when they're all fighting Big Bad Doom, Old Man Evans is going to come out and sacrifice.
That'd be kind.
I think he's going to be like, "You're not done with me yet, Stark."
I think there is a lot of
I hate you. I hate you, Captain America. I hate you 3000.
I hate you 3000. Now, I do think that this is the announced cast. There will be some stuff and cameos and things that we don't even know about.
For sure.
The passing of the torch to whoever's going to be taking on the X-Men roles moving forward, I think is going to be an important thing that happens in these movies, and the Fantastic Four. So we'll see how that pans out. But we're going to ask you to stay here. We're going to take one more break. Coming back, we're going to listen to some some messages. We're going to go over some open breaks, and we're going to get the fuck on out of here. Sound good?
Let's do it, man.
We'll be right back. All right, it's here. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's about to get hot in the Central Valley. So how are we going to survive? Well, I got some steps for you. 1, tan. You don't want to look pasty. 2, make sure you wear lighter clothes. And 3, make sure you have comfortable feet. Let them doggies breathe. So that means you have to go to Brown Shoe Fit Co. in downtown Visalia, right in the corner of Main and Locust, and ask for Josh. He's going to sit you down. He's going to give you that customer service that you cannot get ordering things on a phone, and know your budget, know your needs, and get you the exact right thing. Josh knew I had really bad foot pain. He got me some Hokas, and no joke, my foot pain's gone. Brown Shoe Fit Co. is a big-time supporter of the Do Over podcast, so we support them, and you should as well. Again, downtown Visalia, tell them that the Do Over sent you. And we're back.
We are back.
One more thing I want to say before we end the podcast. We're going to do a few things before we get the hell on out of here. But, round of applause, Colleen. Thanks for coming in today and helping us out. Jess is going to be coming back next week. Now, not only that, Elliot.
Not only.
There's a big grand opening. Sirens and Sage Beauty Lounge.
Sage.
There's a big grand opening that's going to be happening. I'm going to be out there taking some photos at a photo booth for everyone that comes on in.
Ooh.
There's going to be a tattooist out there.
Ooh.
They're going to be showing everyone what the dealio is. And if you keep your eyes and ears open on the socials, you'll see a nice little video that we put together announcing the big grand opening. It's a grand opening party for Sirens and Sage Beauty Salon, owned by our very own Jess Schmidt.
That's right. Business owner extraordinaire.
Now, check this out.
Boss Babe Extreme.
It's the 6th of April, which is on a Sunday. So, come on out. We're going to be out there. And then I'm really going to try to make it about myself somehow.
As you should.
I'm going to be like, this is about me.
Pop off, King.
I'm going to have a whole entire booth for the Do Over podcast out there because she's doing double duty. Whether she knows that or not,
duty.
She's totally doing it.
She's doing all the duty.
I want to say thank you
Duty.
in advance for you to come out and support Jess, because on the real, she's doing some really big things. It's really scary to go and do something on your own. It was scary when I did real estate. When I started doing real estate, I straight up got a panic disorder because I was so nervous. It was really scary doing this podcast, not knowing people are going to show up, but you're here right now. So support Jess. Now, with that being said, here's the plan for the rest of the show. We're going to go over some messages right now.
Okay.
We're going to do some open breaks.
Some TV on the radio, TV on the internet.
We can do TV on the internet.
Because
get the shit out.
I know a lot of people. God, I feel bad even saying this because Survivor's going on right now, Survivor 48. And so many people loved this. It was one of the highest rated episodes, or one of the most watched episodes of Survivor ever. And I thought it was so cringe.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. So, Orky, can we get some of our messages up?
All
so
right,
we have a phone line here. It's 559-403-0193. That's our hotline. We will be opening up to take live calls and stuff. But remember, we're also producing our proper episodes. So it's a little bit hard to go back and forth. But the cool thing about it, you can leave messages. And it actually gives us a dissertation down. It writes it out. So, Orky, if you want, go ahead and play our first message.
Well, howdy ho, neighborinos. My name is Stephanie Davis. Jess knows me. She is the best barberess in the Fresno County, and I'm probably her favorite client. No tea, no shade to all the other clients.
That's
I just
me.
felt like I'd give you guys a call because I saw that you guys have your little hotline number up, and I felt like I could drop some Stephanie lore for y'all today and just kind of explain where I'm from. So when I was growing up, my grandpa was a trapper, and he would go ahead and trap beaver, skunk, muskrat, all of that good stuff in Yakima County. Well, one day my papa was going out and he was trapping in the, I believe, Harper area. And a lady passed him while, he also trapped beavers. So when you get beavers, one of two things you do is you drown them or you hit them over the head with a shovel. Well, my grandpa took the latter. So this particular beaver had the unfortunate opportunity of getting hit in the head with a shovel. Well, he wasn't alone. Little did he know, a woman was driving past, saw him, saw the rig, saw the name of the business on the rig, gave the business number a call. Little did she know, my grandma was the one who picked up this phone because it went to the house. My papa ran his own business. So she calls my grandma and she goes, oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys condemn this type of behavior, but I just saw a gentleman hitting a beaver over the head with a shovel. And she goes, oh my goodness, we would never, oh, that is just terrible. I will absolutely reprimand that employee. I'll take care of it right away. Hangs up the phone with this gal. So she calls my papa and she goes, hey, are you at so-and-so doing so-and-so, and are you hitting a beaver over the head with a shovel? And he goes, how the hell do you know that? And she goes, the next time you do that, could you be just a little more discreet? People are watching. So, just a little bit of how I grew up and enjoying that. Other story, if you guys wanted a little more from that, is I was going through my grandma and grandpa's news clippings, because they just kept everything. They were hoarders.
Like a beaver.
And I found a news clipping of my papa's truck flip, and I saw his name in there, and I go, how in the hell did I not know that you flipped over in a rig when you were younger? And he goes, oh, well, I ran a stoplight because I was watching the winos fight on the road. He was watching the winos fight on the sidewalk, and so he freaking ran a red light and flipped his truck. So don't go rubbernecking, everybody. Okay, love you, Jess. I'll see you soon. Bye. Kisses.
Yeah. How do you compete with the beaver story, dude?
Well, no, I want to just point out, have I not been against rubbernecking?
Yeah. That's like your number one pet peeve.
It drives me insane. It drives me up a wall.
I have a unfortunate story that I was not going to tell on this podcast today, but because of the content of this message, and thank you very much. It's Stephanie, right? Thank you to Stephanie. I hit a raccoon. Yeah. So you know how much I love raccoons, right?
I think that's just a given with everybody.
I love raccoons. Now I know, depending on where you're at, or if you're from rural areas, they can be pains in the asses. I just love how they look, and they look like little cat rat dogs, and like they have little hands, and they like grab stuff, and I just think they're super cute.
And they're super smart.
Super smart. They are. They're super intelligent. Not this one. So I was driving and I was going the speed limit. I wasn't, speeding or anything, but I was going, it was late at night. It was like 10:30, I think. I'm going down this road. I'm going down Barstow, like near Barstow West. And it's dark because Bullard's pretty illuminated, but this one's pretty dark. As I'm going, I always brake or swerve for animals, no matter what. I don't think useless killing of things. And I know people back in the day that would just like run over animals on purpose, which is ridiculous. I would never do that. But I always brake. I'm driving and then I see, and it was too late. You could not move out of the way. And a raccoon is like right when you get to like this distance here. I didn't see anything. And then boom, I see him in my lights. He's running. I'm like, oh shit. And I try to stop and I hear it, right? So I'm like, you heard him. So if he's alive, you're going to have to save him. So I turned around. Okay. I turned around, could not find him anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping
they're not hanging out after they get hit by a car.
Well, I mean, like if he broke a leg or something. Or no. If he died, I would have seen the splat. I'm hoping to God I hit that poor little bugger's tail. And that's it. Like I broke his tail. Mm-hmm. I hope. I could not find him. I drove back twice. I could not see him anywhere. So whatever happened, he was able to move out of the way afterwards. Now, if he's alive or not.
Probably not.
Really ruined my night, dude, because I have a really good track record of not hitting animals. Yeah. Like swerving out of the way, braking.
Jimmy always hits them.
I never hit him.
His nickname, and my nieces and my nephew, they call him Jimmy the Squirrel Killer.
Really?
Yeah.
He just does it on purpose?
He just, I don't know. I don't even know how it happened so many times. But
you guys live in kind of a...
We live very rural.
Yeah. So, I mean,
there's
it makes
squirrels
sense
all the time. But the last one he hit was already dead. And so he just ran over. But I mean, you can avoid it. He just does it. It's like, I don't know. He just has like...
He has tunnel vision.
Yes.
He's like,
that's exactly where my tire tracks need to be.
What if like in a past, what if like when he was a baby, like a squirrel came into his room and stole like his nook And just ever since then, he's just had like a mental thing where like,
right?
these
dead
squirrels,
shot.
man.
His
Yeah.
dead shot for the squirrels.
Yeah.
Hey, Orky,
Yeah,
is there
give me the squirrel killer,
another message we can play?
Yeah. Type F in the chat for a fallen raccoon brother.
All right, there we go.
Okay, sorry not to be super freaky and annoying because I'm still working on listening through this whole podcast. But Jess, I swear to all that's good in the world I've told you about because I love Trixie and Katya. They're
Exactly.
I feel like we should
everything.
have saved
They're
this one for
queens. If you guys
Jess.
love you should also watch the I Like to Watch with Trixie and Katya. It's absolutely hilarious. And they also have the Bald is a Beautiful podcast. Shout out to Trixie and Katya, who are the ultimate queens. Hey, love you, bye.
Yeah, we love you too, but this is the only
That's right.
podcast anyone should be worried about.
So sorry, but I told Jess about it. So skill issue. Enjoy this ratio. Boom.
All right. Well, remember, 559-403-0193. Go ahead and leave us a message. Give it a call. You can ask us questions. 559-403-0193. If you want to pose a question to us, we'll be more than happy to answer it on the next podcast. Now, Elliot.
Yo.
Let's go to Colleen. Colleen, you want to do a we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're not aware of how this works, you should be if you're on the internet at all. But we, in unison, say we listen and we don't judge. And then you
we
say something
judgy.
and then you can't, you say something that you would be judged for, but we can't judge you.
I know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of me is still going to very much judge.
I think everyone judges all the time. I don't care what anyone says. Only God can judge me. No, everyone can judge you.
Yeah,
and they
Miley
do.
Cyrus, get it.
So
Hey,
let's get into this.
Don't you dare talk ill of Miley Cyrus.
No, he said only God can judge you. She says that in
Good.
Michael Minus 23.
All right.
23.
So let's start. We listen and we don't judge.
Me first?
Yes.
You have all of them.
You have all of them.
Okay, well, I
I
can't be the only one. Okay.
Be honest, Drew. Do you even have one?
All right. All right.
I don't either.
I can't be the only one that does this.
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine. I let my pug lick my mouth. No, you can't judge.
Okay.
We listen.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah,
Somebody else has to go.
no,
though.
like if Camera, like I'll give Camera a little kiss on the top of the nose. He'll give me a little.
my mouth's not
like a
open.
little Yoshi,
Okay, I got one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
We listen and we don't judge.
Whenever my wife is like bending over a counter, like I was talking about earlier, I always circle it and take a picture of her butt. I have a whole entire master file of my wife's
Aster
butt.
file.
Yeah.
That's so right.
We listen and we don't judge.
So Lady Jams just went blonde, or is in the process of the blondification. It's the best day of my life. This is, I don't know. Blonde supremacy is real. Blonde people do it right. I'm sorry, everybody else.
We listen and we don't judge.
There you go.
I don't deep clean my toilet.
Do you?
I don't do much of the cleaning around the house.
Like I'll bleach it once every like 4 months or something.
I'll do like the blue thing, and then you flush.
That's good enough.
Then you flush it, and
That's good
you're
enough,
done.
yeah.
You're done. Yeah.
We listen and we don't judge. Give me another one.
I accidentally bought a Louis Vuitton.
How do you accidentally buy
How
something?
do you accidentally buy a Louis Vuitton handbag?
Okay, so I love watching luxury handbags at auction. That should be another listen and we don't judge. But I like to watch the auctions. And the shop button is in the bottom corner. But when things are being auctioned, the bid button is in the bottom corner. And Louis Vuitton is really not my brand. It's really not. I'm like way more Versace and Prada.
But how many do you have?
Prada, I have two now.
No.
Oh.
Louis.
I technically have two. This is my second. My other one is white, and I'm just obsessed with like things
The
like
vintage
glitter
one?
and
This is a vintage bag.
This is a vintage. It's a Louis Vuitton Alma. It's for sale, by the way.
What you're gonna? Oh, because
yeah, I'm not keeping it.
No.
So look, I'll put it on display. If you're looking to buy a bag for your woman,
Or your lady.
Here,
For
take a
your
picture of it. Let's
lady.
see. Hold on.
for your lady. It does have a little bit of water staining at the bottom.
This is not
but-
Sarah's style, like color wise, but I'll take a picture and see.
Yeah, it's the monogram Louis Vuitton. Okay. I paid a little over $500 for it. I was going to sell it on the Real for $650. But seriously, if anyone local wants it, I'll really give it to you.
I'll give
for
you
like $515.
$200 right now.
Absolutely not.
Okay, $220.
$515.
Give you a firm handshake.
Well,
Best
I'll
I can
give you a
offer.
high five and you can look at it.
All right, do you have one more?
I do have one more.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
So I accidentally bid.
Okay.
So I accidentally bid. I didn't know what the purse looked like. I didn't know how much. I knew that I bid because they said, "Congratulations, Colleen DeGaff, for this was an amazing steal." And I was like, "I'm sorry, did you just say my name?" I was literally like shook in my bed, holding my phone, going, "Oh my God." And I can see that it says Louis LV Alma. So I know what the bag is. I hadn't seen it. I didn't know how much I bid for it. I had to wait until the PayPal email came up to me. And then I didn't even tell my husband for like 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I have like the best husband in the world. So
He'd be cool about it.
He was like totally chill.
No, we listen and we don't judge. Whenever I have the next thing that I'm going to buy, I always tell Sarah that's at least $300 or $400 more than what it actually is. So then when I go, just kidding, it's this much, it kind of softens the blow of how expensive it really is.
Okay.
I like it.
We
listen and we don't judge.
I'm pretty sure my dog is gay.
Why do you think that?
Okay. This was the funniest thing. So we had like Lady Jams is like dad, and her comfort food is like chili cheese dogs. You know? I don't know why. I love it.
Yeah. That works for me.
It's awesome. So like we had these leftover hot dogs, and we're like, we're not going to eat these. But I was like, we shouldn't throw them away. We should just chop them up and feed them to the dog. Oh, Camo. Lady Jams gets one. Doesn't chop it up, but she's like, here you go. And he was just going to we're thinking the dog's just going to bite it. He deep throats it. He literally does it. He sniffs it and just does this.
In one gulp.
He goes like this. All slow and shit.
I swear to God, he's just like the little dog. What? He literally, and you heard it too. You heard the. It was like he didn't
gap of air.
He didn't bite. He didn't even lick it. He just he just the whole thing. And he's looking at us like, where's the other?
Right.
It's like, bro, we got a zesty ass dog.
Zesty ass
dog. We got a zesty ass dog. Yeah. When are you gonna play with me on my own?
Now, do you have any more?
I have one last one.
We listen and we don't judge.
I threw my hip out the last time I twerked.
We're all getting old. You know, it's hard to be out there twerking.
It's hard to throw it back sometimes.
Well, okay, hold on. You were mentioning doing cardio, and that's like a fantastic way. You should start twerking.
I don't have enough ass.
You don't need ass.
Yes, you do.
Because you got to get to the point where you could just drop it low. You know what you need? You need fat. Girls don't twerk with ass. They twerk with fat.
What do you mean?
That's real. I swear to God. Any girl in the chat that's twerked, you throw your fat back. Like I swear.
Wait, what?
If I could have thick thighs and twerk.
My chin can twerk then.
Look, I've seen videos, right, on Instagram because I have a bunch of like Instagram chicks.
We listen and we don't judge, Drew. You should say that first.
I've self-admitted. I self-admitted that I fell down to the movie vortex like a decade ago.
And there's no getting out.
And there's no getting out, dude.
It's because it knows that you're still stalling on those videos. Yeah. There's still like a second.
So the most pathetic thing is when like the skinny white girls try to twerk, and it's just like, dude, that's not a thing. You
have to have fat.
You got to have. You have to have weight
fat
back there.
Yeah. Well, you said that you said you had weight, so you should be able to throw it back.
I don't have weight in my ass. I have a muffin top. They're very different.
Can I twerk with my muffin top?
With your hip, your hip fat.
All of my fat is in my love handles, hip, and tummy. So you can wait.
We listen, but we don't judge. He's got ketchup stains.
Here, I got one.
Orange. I don't know.
We listen and we don't judge. I'm judging Elliot right now because he stained and he cussed. How dare you cuss, you shithead.
I try not to. I try to be the good noodle of the group.
I don't know what is cuss. Okay, I don't think that you should be throwing around F-bombs, but is shit cussing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Yes.
Technically.
Ass?
No.
I don't.
How is ass acceptable and shit is not?
I try.
Ass is acceptable, shit isn't.
I try and go with like old radio broadcast standards.
I don't know what those are.
So just don't say the F word or the S word.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's move on.
But I did right there.
You can say the B word?
Yes.
Beaver.
Guys, we can say whatever we want on the podcast.
Well, I was asking old radio, whatever he said.
Yeah. Elliot, he's purposely choosing not to cuss, which is annoying to me, but I'm okay with that. So I'll do enough for both.
He's a good boy.
So let's move on to a couple of open breaks. Really quick, here's a heads up. Animania is coming up. we are going to be out there. I'm going to go next week to see what we're going to be doing to see if we can actually go live if we have a good internet source. We need to get our costumes in line.
Yeesh.
Colleen.
I'm not going to be there.
Not going to be there. Boo, Colleen.
Whack.
Boo.
Whack.
Boo.
Yeah.
But
Boo,
me and you need to
Disneyland.
coordinate and we need to get our stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ouija time.
I want it here in time. Also, this year is one of my favorite years. The reason why is because, and this happens, I think the last time this happened was like 8 years ago, maybe longer. Actually, way longer. Okay. It's a weedster year. 420 and Easter falls on the same day.
Oh, right.
I love weedsters, okay, because it is something that apparently no one else says, but I'm like, it's so prime for marketing. We will have high Q this year. We have a contestant,
Oh, nice.
potentially two.
Ooh.
Orky.
Or?
Potentially two.
We've never had a competition before.
We haven't.
So that would be exciting.
It would be exciting to have two people doing high Q.
I agree.
We're going to have that this year. High Q is one of my favorite things we've ever done. So that's coming up as well. Now, let's get to some opens. TV on the internet. We got to get the hell on out of here. Colleen, what's Scotty with the body?
Scotty with a body.
So my daughter's talking to a guy. And we were driving home. So I actually want opinions, but I want different versions of the opinions.
Tell everyone how
Tell a
old
story.
she is first.
She's 19.
She's 19.
Okay,
19.
so she's 19.
No, 19.
And we're driving home and she's in her car and her car links to our car. And then we can tell that like someone's on the phone, like talking, right? And I'm driving and it pops up Scotty with the body. And I was like,
Scotty doesn't
with the, and
know.
then I realized this is Lana's phone.
Yeah.
This is her phone. So I stopped talking. And of course, my delightful husband, my very hilarious husband goes, "Who is Scotty with the body?" And like, he knows. That, like,
Yeah,
and
he can
doesn't
hear
say
him.
it, like, yeah, he doesn't say, he's all Scotty with the body. Like, and I could just hear Lana like, no.
Like freaking out.
Well, so she came up. We're like laughing so hard in
Right.
the car. She came up and she said he knows that that's his name and it comes from, I don't know. She watches
having a
Baddies.
sick bod.
And I also
there's a
want-
girl named Scotty and they call her Scotty with the body, and that's why.
I want to point something out. I worked so hard and took the most beautiful prom photos of Lana and her group of people, and she got rid of that dude like this.
No, that was the one member that said she talked too much.
He said that?
Yes, remember that was the one
okay.
that we were
Had
like,
to get-
boo.
but-
Yeah, had to
My
get rid
point
of him.
is
Yeah.
all of those
And then
pictures,
he was like, well, then be gay.
all of those pictures will never be seen again.
No, they'll still be seen. She
And
doesn't
I
care.
worked so hard on those.
They're friends-ish.
So what was your question?
Okay, so my question is, for you as a dad, if you were driving in the car and your daughter's, like, you've never met him before, but person popped up on your car and it said Scotty with the body, what would you do? You know that he can hear you.
So
You have like this tiny window of opportunity.
Would you just pretend you're like your phone got connected and be a different guy totally?
let's
Throw a fake voice out.
let me give you some context. Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna react.
How would you,
to when
like,
this
right now?
happens?
Like right now. in your
No,
head.
let me. It's a build up, Colleen. Chill the fuck out. So I don't know how I'm gonna react when it comes to that time for the girls. Okay. I don't know if they're straight. I don't know if they're gay. I don't know whoever they're gonna be talking to, end up with, whatever. But I've told myself several times over, I'm gonna have to be chill about this because it will definitely happen. There's gonna be boys that want to be with your daughters. You're gonna have to just be chill or you'll never know anything about them. But one of the things I'm definitely looking forward to is fucking with those kids that are super nervous to meet me, right? Like, I want someone if I was to pick like a potential mate later on down the road, like what would I think a good mate for my daughters would be is someone that's smart, that shows respect, but has a sense of humor and And those are like the three things, like someone that's funny, but someone that's also smart and shows respect.
Yeah.
Like
That's what everybody wants for their kids.
But those three, but a lot of dads go overboard a little bit, like, acting like they're going to intimidate to like, off.
Don't mess around with my daughter.
I'm not going to do that shit, but I do want to mess with them a little bit because I am looking forward to the day when a boy's like, Mr. Hyatt, is Dylan or Taylor, whoever here
is Dylan there.
Like, I am looking forward to that. Like, I'm looking forward to that. Like the whole Bad Boys routine.
I was gonna say that's what you want.
I want to make them nervous.
Show up in a wife beater with like a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, I want to see them overcome that awkward situation. Still always show respect, but rise to the occasion. That's who you want. Someone that's confident for
So
their
what
daughter.
do you do? So what do you do?
I would probably. I'd probably say something embarrassing like, Dylan, come pick up your tampon. Like something like that. Why are this dirty tampon stuck on the wall, Dylan?
Lana would be so mad.
Like something like that. But I don't know. I'd probably pretend to be her. Like, oh my God.
See,
oh my God.
I think I would just act as if I was like some rando that got connected to their call.
Okay, so I wanted to know your opinion if you were the guy. So if you were Scotty with the body and all of a sudden, like, you're clearly talking to this girl's parents, at this point, they hadn't met yet either, by the way. Like, her and him had not met in person.
Like, physically met?
They had not physically met at all.
How do they even
online dating?
talk to each other?
Trust me, your daughters are going to meet and talk to people who they do not see physically in person first. That's how it's going. That's how it works. But so they had not met in person before this instance.
So I actually think you're playing with house money right there, because worst case, you never see them anyway. It falls through. So you might as well just have a little fun with it. And I actually think if you are more fun with it, one, it's a great like icebreaker when you do end up meeting the parents, and you're already going to be comfortable with them because you've already made like an inside joke. Yeah. So I say, be a little goofy.
Yeah. Run with it.
Or just ignore the girl you were talking to. Just start talking to the parents. Just have a conversation with them. What are you guys up to?
So we're running out of time. We're going to have to get the hell on out of here. But Elliot, before we do, 5 minutes or less, give me your TV on the internet.
Okay. First, I want to talk about White Lotus. Season 3, episode 6 was... it was a lot. If you are... I don't know if you guys have seen White Lotus, but it's going to do two things to you. One, it's going to make you want to travel every inch of this earth. And I've been watching it, and I know they're in Thailand, but it just makes me want to get to Vietnam faster and faster. And I have no future of that. So that's kind of a cowabunga.
Cool.
But it also will put you in the weirdest sexual experiences out there. So
interesting.
White Lotus season.
I'm like, do tell.
I'm
funny.
Take an extra 5
minutes. It actually will like full circle into Survivor, because the guy who created it actually was on a season of Survivor, which is cool. But,
really?
Yeah. And he was also the awkward friend in School of Rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mike White.
Yeah.
But each season has like a weird sex scene. This last episode had the weird sex scene.
Oh, yeah.
And it was probably the weirdest one ever. Like, it's weird.
In the history of TV.
I don't know about that, but I mean, you're going to watch it and you'll be like, I can't believe a show went there. It's gross.
Everyone talks about this show.
But it's good.
Like, we need to watch it. Like,
You want me to sell you on it? Walt Goggins is in it.
I mean, yeah, this season, right?
Yeah.
So like,
and that's the good thing, because you can watch any season and they don't really connect to each other. So they're all based in
Doctor
different...
Who.
Kind of. They're all based in different White Lotus hotels.
Right.
So this one's in Thailand, and this one's really good. It was just that season was like, whoa. It was crazy. Survivor 48. I'm not sold on this season.
Now, what was so annoying about this last episode?
I hate even saying it, because it's a very special moment, and it's a very like human moment. So like part of a normal person is going to be like, yeah, that's a very inspiring moment, and people loved it. There are two contestants. One is Joe, who's like this giga dad, Chad, you know, super big guy.
Love Joe.
Great guy. Human being. Joe is up there as like one of the great human beings. Eva is this like young college girl who suffers with autism, but she persevered, she powered through. She's the only girl on her like all men's hockey team. She's
kind of badass.
And she's a badass physical threat for sure, but her social cues are way off.
Right.
Well, they get separated because, of course, after about 3 or 4 votes, if one team sucks, like the green team typically does,
right,
they do a tribe swap. So they get separated. So Eva's on a new team, Joe's on a new team, and some of the gameplay has been very good at these tribals, but a lot of it, I feel, has been kind of lackluster compared to seasons past. These last 3 seasons have been phenomenal. There's a challenge, though. It's a team challenge, and they all get through it, and you have to balance like a ball into like a slot, right? Eva goes last on her tribe, and she's having like a full-blown like meltdown.
Okay.
To a point where like she's doing it and crying, and everybody's like cheering her on. And then finally, she gets it. Her tribe survives, and she's like bawling, crying.
Right. Yeah.
And I get this, right? It's a very human moment, and then Joe like waits for Jeff, gives Jeff like the eyes, like, let me go over there. And he calms her down. This is very touching, almost like father-daughter moment. My problem with this season of Survivor isn't that, but it is that there is no animosity in this season.
Yet.
There's no venom in this season.
And you need that.
And if you're going to have these huge highs of great human experience moments, you need to have someone to balance out with.
Trust me, when the $1 million is being sniffed by like 8-9 people, it's going to get bloody. But the thing is that Joe is a great human being.
Joe is a saint.
And I think that, I got emotional the first episode of this season because that girl reminds me of Dylan.
You're going to get emotional watching this one.
Well, that fucks me up because like some people, and I feel like Dylan suffers from this. We got her tested for ADHD and autism to see if she was on the spectrum. And the doctor says that she's not, but she does have severe ADHD, like really, really bad. Dylan it's hard for her to socialize, and she doesn't understand. She can't control like her feelings or her comfort
We do a lot
levels.
of. I have a daughter just like that. Like, and we call it her social battery. So that's how we communicate with her, and that's how we've communicated with her all her life. She has a social battery, and once it depletes, if she does not get out of her environment and be able to be by herself, it makes her emotional or makes her lash out or makes her act a certain kind of way.
Sure.
But she's also not on the spectrum.
Dylan has something very similar to that, and it's like I'm looking at her, I'm like, baby, you're gonna struggle your whole life figuring this out because I need you to do one thing, but your brain's not letting you grasp like what we need from you or what you will need for yourself moving forward in order to like meld. And when you're in a high tense social situation like Survivor and someone that is on the spectrum that doesn't understand body language and social cues and, for her and Joe to like come together like that fucked me up because this guy is like,
He's the sweetest human being on the planet.
He's also
ultimately
a badass.
There can only be one of them.
Well, but he's also a fucking badass.
He's a fire captain. Yeah.
But the thing is like him being like, I can't let her down. Like I will never stab her in the back. I don't care if it costs me the $1 million. I'm not going to fucking do it. That fucked me up. So the fact that he took that time to go and comfort her because he knows what she suffers from, but has not told anyone.
Well, she then proceeds to announce it.
Explain.
Announce it. But there's one line that I just didn't like. And it was, and I get it because sometimes you have to do this. But she said, if we take ourselves out of the game for a minute, you're in the game. This is me being a survivor. Like if I'm in that moment on one of the other tribes, you know what I think? If Eva and Joe get to the final 4, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
They are targets number 1 and targets number 2.
Yeah.
And Joe is only getting stronger as the game goes on because, believe it or not, he's a great social player on top of all this.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah. And so, like, I get the human moment. I need animosity back in this season. Otherwise, this season's going to feel very 41.
See, and I feel like Beast Games was like that. You get very attached to the people. And I think for the most part, there was not a lot of animosity in the very beginning of the season when there was 1,000 contestants. There was a lot of like really crappy things that happened to people. But then once you got down to like the last 10 or 5, whatever, it was very like genuine. And I think that people reacted to that very well. I enjoyed not hating someone and hoping that they wouldn't get through. Like we got down to the final 5 and I was like, you know what? I'm chill if any of these people won. Like I'm here for the ride.
Yeah.
But like the thing with Survivor,
and that was 10 million.
Villains need to exist.
At least one person that you can be like, well,
know.
for me, she's not a villain, but she's annoying as all hell. And I
say,
yes, she's annoying. She's playing too hard. And the fact that they're letting her kind of weed through the cracks is a problem, because if they don't take care of that, she is the person that will look at your face, make a pact with you, and then stab you in your back if you don't agree with her.
There's somebody more, and that's Cedric. Cedric might...
Oh, Cedric's a slick dog,
Cedric's
dude.
a puppet master right now, and say
Well, see, then
number
there's-
one
there's-
puppet.
Really?
Oh, he is cooking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Then there you go. There's your animosity. It's coming. It's just a sneak attack.
So there you go. Thank you to everyone in chat. Twitch.tv/The Do-Over Podcast. Every single Friday around 9:30, we're going to be going live. While we record the proper episode, it'll be posted Wednesday at 8 a.m. Also, Taps and Takes. Go watch that. Friday, 8 a.m. for the nerd news, the sports news. Jess will be coming back. We'll be talking about that big grand opening. Colleen, thank you very much for coming in.
Well done, Colleen.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done, Colleen. And to all the horny people in chat, she has a husband.
I'm married.
Look at the shirt. It
I
says,
love my husband.
I love my husband.
I love my husband.
I love my husband.
I love my husband.
So, thank you to everyone for joining us. Now, go and subscribe, please. Subscribe on our YouTube. We're trying to grow that. It's you got to point. Say, point.
Or
say,
throw the subscribe button everywhere on the screen.
Yeah, subscribe.
It's everywhere.
So, thank you very much. Go subscribe and share the videos with your friends from YouTube so we can start to grow this in a new way. We just hit over. We got 60 brand new subs right after the 1,000 mark, so that was cool. We're at 1.06 thousand followers on our YouTube. Look at us go. So thank you, and we love you. Patreon as well. We're gonna have links to everything here. Go check out our splash page, has all of our stuff, and our Patreon. They are going to be receiving their shirts starting next week.
Ooh.
So really exciting. And yes, Elliot, I got your screen ready.
Aw.
So look at that. We got the 3 shirts.
Look at us.
Know what else I got?
That's so sweet.
Correct.
I got a bunch of transparency so we could make like special funny one-offs, like tummy ham.
I like tummy ham.
I
Tummy
like
ham should
tummy
just
ham.
be the
Tummy
shirt.
ham, do we want to, know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
Just a baby.
Yeah.
Just a baby.
Or what? That's my pants. Maybe something like that.
Take your pants off.
So thank you once again. We love you. You'll see this episode Wednesday at 8, and we'll be broadcasting live next Friday around 9:30 with the whole crew back. Thank you very much for coming in, Colleen.
Of course.
The co-hostess with the mostest.
Colleen
And also,
Stir.
if you are interested and you're seeing this, maybe sponsoring us in any way. If you have a
Sponsor
local
us.
business, you just want to
Subscribe.
sponsor an episode,
Sponsor.
you can reach out to Colleen. All
Yes.
of her detailed information there.
At Colleen on the Move,
Yep.
or send an email to the Do-Over Podcast. That's completely spelled out at gmail.com. You can also message me if you find me on Facebook, or you can text me at, just kidding. But you
Yeah,
can
she's
call
not
the
gonna put her
phone.
number. No.
But you can call the phone number. What's the phone number?
559-403-0193.
Correct.
You can call that and leave a message and we'll get back to
Leave
you.
a message and I will call you back.
Elliot, where can everyone find
You
you?
can find me on Twitter at Elliot Kames, Instagram at ElliotJams13, the Fairway Lounge, because I'm literally always there.
Yeah.
And or at, just at my other job or 3.
Whatever
Yeah,
job.
whatever I'm
Yeah.
doing.
All the jobs.
Just pick a job.
Just pick a job. I'm
right there.
or Trader Joe's. I'm always there and people always recognize me
It's
there.
right next door.
I was going to talk about that, like how I feel like I basically work at the stores that I always go to, because now I'm like assisting people in them.
Till next
But
time.
we'll talk about that next time. So thank you very much. We love you. Until next time, we got to go. Love you. Bye.